Hello, beautifuls.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
T. How to say hi to T. Morning.
I like seeing your beautiful faces.
Oh, I know, right?
Oh,
Not
Yeah,
beautiful
right?
tonight. Not beautiful tonight, but I'm here.
You're always beautiful, Keela.
Oh, thank you, but I do not feel it today. Because I am going to
I
be
can't
sitting
drink my
back.
water if the lid is on, can I? Sorry. Just
I'm going to sit back and let these two beautiful, lovely persons do their thing. I'm here. I will chime in whenever needed or if I have something to say. But right now, I think I'm just going to hope these meds kick in quick.
Oh man,
Aw.
that's a mood.
Yeah, and it's just ibuprofen 800, so it's not like it's big meds, but it better hurry up.
No, but it helps take the edge off for sure.
Yeah.
Pain management sucks when you have chronic pain. Like I was good
Oh, well,
Friday.
this one's,
Like,
well, it's a cute now. Hey, Paige.
yeah.
Now, yeah, this is a new one.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, y'all go
Hi
ahead.
Paige. Hi Life on Mars. Hi Blake. Hi Ben. Hi Mandy.
Hi. Hi, Indigo.
Mary. Hi DJ Nigo. Thank you all for joining us. We're just doing
Hi,
a
my
health
friend.
check-in. So yeah, chat rules, no hate speech or bullying, respect the creator, mods, guests, and other creators. This is a zero tolerance channel. That means if you're rude, you get the boot.
That is so
That's
true.
simple facts. Our goal here is to support mental
Oh,
health.
are you talking
Yes,
about
that's my
both of
girl.
our headphones? Because both of our headphones have lights on them.
Oh yeah, both of our headphones are lighted up. I feel like Mandy is my twin from another dad or something.
Oh my God, we
They're so
almost have the
similar.
exact. Is yours Logitech?
Hmm?
Is yours Logitech too?
Come on,
What
y'all. This
makes
is,
that? I'm
hey,
not sure.
I'm talking to the chat, not y'all. I'm talking to the chat. This
Because
is mental
they
health.
look the
So we can
same.
say
I think
anything to that.
we have like the same
Mine are
brand.
rainbow. It's just like I can turn them off and then they're just gray underneath. But yeah, I like them because they're actually like rainbow colored.
If my lights are bothering anybody, let me know.
No, as long as they're not flashing, I'm good.
I'm sad that, my kitty cat ears have to go in the trash.
Oh no, did yours break as well?
Yeah, those broke fully.
Yeah,
It
mine
could
did.
have been my cat.
Broke
I
off.
think the cat totally
I know,
ruined
right?
them.
T, me too. I
Oh
think
no,
they're
the
super
cat ate them out of anger.
These were on sale, and I debated on whether or not to just get these or get the $150 upgrade version of those, and they came with 3 pairs of ears: cat,
Oh,
bear, and bunny.
Haley, and Haley, you get to just relax and be on stage. Red's back here taking care of all of us.
I know. I have it open on 2 screens, so I have like the
Great.
the on stage in front of me because that's where my camera is, so I'm actually looking at you guys, and then I
Yeah.
have
Yep. You don't have to worry about anything. That the power mod is here. Except I don't know. Rachel can sling some wrenches too. So
Do we need to start with like a breathing technique?
we needed to start something because
So everybody
ooh.
take a minute.
Yeah, let's take a minute to like just
Hey, we
breathe
did a
in.
breathing exercise this week.
You did?
If anybody has it.
Oh, the
It's
one
in these
in the Facebook group.
it's 52 stacks of cards. I don't think I can find it.
Yeah, I don't know if people think of Sunday as the beginning of the week or the end of the week. I always think of it as the very end.
I think of it as the beginning just because of the work.
Because I listened to a mindfulness podcast a few years ago when I was going through very stressful things, and they said if you start the weekend on Sunday, then Monday is just another day of the week, and it doesn't hold all this stress and anxiety about it because you're basically like starting on a Sunday when you don't have stress and you don't have a deadline, and then you just go to the office Monday and it's like just another day, and that helps me a lot. But
I can understand that, but for like
Tuesday.
Down purposes, I always like having, it makes sense weekend. Sunday is the end. Saturday, Sunday is the end of the week. I don't know. And I just make it like a
I
block.
agree, DJ. Look.
But,
Right?
that's
Oh,
just my
man.
weird autistic
Monday.
brain, the way I think of
I like
things.
that.
I like that.
Yeah, because isn't Sunday supposed to be the day of rest?
Yes. And
Nobody,
Monday. Oh, yeah,
we don't
Monday
really
on-
rest on Sundays either.
My poor T is in Monday already.
Tea is in the future and Monday already.
One of the mindfulness apps I use is Headspace.
Yes.
If anybody's heard of that,
use that too.
Headspace is pretty good. You can set up different times that you want. If you wanted to go 5 minutes, if you wanted to go 10 minutes, they have it's all guided and customizable.
Mandy, don't ever use it if you use Waze. Don't ever use it for your Waze voice, directions, because it puts you to sleep.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. You don't want to fall asleep when you're driving.
I know, it's so calm. It says turn at the next sign.
Oh yeah, I could see that, especially if you work
Yeah.
during the week. I just ended up doing mindfulness in my 20s because I lived with a
Hey, carry on.
bad roommate and I was working nights and it was hard to balance everything at first. And so mindfulness and meditation, I used to sit in my room with the lights off and meditate, but then the problem with that was if my brain was too chaotic, I couldn't slow it down enough to stop
Right.
thinking, which is generally what I shoot for when I meditate is I just want to turn my brain off for 15 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's why
though, what they
like the
say about
guided
that?
ones.
Yeah, the guided ones is what I use. And you know what they say about that? That you can't get if you start thinking outside of something else or get in, intrusive thoughts, you're supposed to start, you didn't fail. You just need to regroup and start again. How many times can you regroup before it's considered a flunk?
Yeah, so for me, for some reason, if there's any noise when I'm trying to meditate, like someone's voice or a gong, it brings me back to the present. So sometimes I'll just run water sounds when I'm meditating.
That's
Or I'll
nice.
meditate in the bath. I'll draw a bath and then put water sounds on my phone and kind of just
That's nice.
Have you ever tried sound baths?
No.
What was that? Spill the tea there, Mandy.
Oh, sound baths?
Yeah, what
It's
is
not like
that?
getting in a bath, but it's literally it's a nice yoga practice of utilizing those bowls that do different tones, or you can use winded pipes. Lower tones is really nice for me, and you just lay there
Look
and
at
it's
wait, this
literally
is
you're bathing in the sound.
Oh, yeah, the tone bowls that you do this
Mhm.
on.
Yeah,
And then
I
they
like
make,
live sound
soothing
baths. They
sounds.
do have on YouTube sound baths, videos, and you can put it in your ears. But doing it live, where just a bunch of people are laying in a room and you just you're all bathing in this nice tone.
that's nice, Mandy.
Oh,
Look, we
sound
carry on.
healing. That
Friend of
sounds
mine has
interesting,
sound
carry
bath.
on. I
Oh
really want to go
wow.
to a spa near where my parents live. They have a float chamber
hmm
where you
I've never
pay for
tried float chambers only because of claustrophobia.
it's funny. My friend's you're slightly claustrophobic. Why would you do that? I'm because I know what to expect. I've looked up
Hey, Katie.
videos of what they look like. I think if I'm in an unexpected tight situation, I'm oh,
Mhm.
what do I do? But if I'm okay, well, the point of this is to have sensory deprivation and to float in silence. I just find water very healing.
Water is healing, but I don't like the sound
Hi,
of
Barbie.
art. That sounds actually more anxiety inducing to me.
No, weather
Maybe it's
sounds.
just because
The
I don't like
raining,
any
the
silence.
thundering. The thundering and the raining. Oh no. I don't want that.
No, you don't. You can't sleep through that.
I have hurricanes. I cannot sleep through that.
Well, no, of course you can't sleep through a hurricane, but a nice little like
Nope, I
rainstorm
get
is nice.
PTSD from any type of weather. We just had
I
stormed all night last
understand.
night, and I couldn't sleep at all.
Oh, I understand.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense because, yeah, like
Yeah.
when my friends would be like, oh, well, and also there's active meditation that you can do as well if you can't sit still and need to move. There's all kinds of different ways that you can get yourself into a meditative state. Because I know I have a couple of friends with like really advanced ADHD where they're like, I can't sit still to like meditate like normal. And I'm like, well, there's
Mm,
moving meditation.
nice, Blake. So let's follow Mandy. I know I can do it. I need it right now. Pain one. I need a pain one.
Oh, yes. I wanted to say last time we had a chat, a lurker came out and said hello. And now I'm like,
Wow.
I
Nice.
can't remember who it is. But anyway, if we
Hi.
have any lurkers, thank
Please
you.
don't just say
Um,
hello. We're not mean.
Yeah,
I was
even if
gonna
you don't want to
say,
have a conversation, just say hi.
Yeah, just say hello.
like, I think like a topic that we all probably relate to is like pain, like
Mhm.
Oh, God.
chronic pain or
Mine is unfortunately acute at this point.
yes. And I think that can also impact a lot more than people understand. Like,
Hey,
um,
Paula.
oh, hello, Paula.
Hi.
Sometimes I
Oh,
feel like it's really hard to explain chronic pain or chronic fatigue because, like, I'll say, "Oh man, I'm fatigued," and people are like, "Yeah, I'm tired too." Like,
Mm-mm.
no, tired, fatigue, two different things. Like, imagine you have
hey,
bowling balls, like 50-pound bowling balls attached to your neck and each of your limbs. That's
mhm.
what the drag down feeling. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm so
Tea.
fatigued I can't even pick up my feet. I shuffle.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Oh,
tea.
tea. Oh, that's awful.
Ouch.
Ooh, but at least hopefully
Ouch.
it's better now that the tooth is gone, whatever was
Yes,
going
I'm
on.
sorry, T.
Yeah,
I'm not being
hopefully
the
it
bitch. I
didn't
am. No,
get.
I'm not. I am the pessimist, and I'll say it. I'm sorry, T, and I hope you don't end up like me.
Oh my
When
god.
you think it's fixed, it's not.
That's what
Ugh,
I
yeah.
think the discouraging thing I found is like in my 20s. Well, this is why I'm very suspicious that I might have MS or fibro. But in my 20s, when I started getting sick all the time because my body was like thyroid cancer, I also started having a bunch of coordination issues and like I was sick like all the time. And my doctors were like, this doesn't make sense.
Oh,
You're too young. And I'm like, okay, last time I checked, medical stuff isn't age related.
no,
Like
it's not.
if a baby can get cancer, then
That's
there's
right.
nothing like too young to have a condition. And I found that they almost were like,
Mhm.
oh,
Even
you'll grow out of it. Like I had bad period pain my
yeah.
whole life. They told me at 13 I grow out of it. Then at 23 I grow out of it. Now I'm 34. I'm like, if someone tells me I'm going to grow out of it one more time, I might
Hysterectomy 23 for a reason.
I might scream.
That's
Yeah.
like my grandmother telling me it's still a phase for my bisexuality. I'm like, I'm in my 40s. I think it's not a phase at this point.
See, you probably, I'm going to say yes, but I'm not a diagnosis.
Yeah.
It's just
like
case
You've
report
been
at
for
least
through a
independent.
lot too, and fatigue can also come with like PTSD and severe trauma
Yes.
because your body
mhm.
just can't.
And look what you just went through.
You just went through so much, T. So I wouldn't be surprised if you were feeling fatigue.
Yeah, there's
I
even
want
like
to,
childhood dementia. So like, I mean, it's
hey,
rarer,
Susie,
but
I want to see,
Oh my gosh, really? I didn't
Red,
know
can
that.
you find
oh,
me,
you didn't?
Katie's, I think it's starred. I only have one hand, so Katie's, one. Yes, thank you. I'm having injections on my spine for pain in December 10th, and I'm scared. I
Aw.
don't think I should be the one because I'm blatantly blunt tonight. So I'm probably not the best person to ask
Well, are
because I'm
you?
blatantly blunt. It doesn't
Like
work.
directly into the spine?
Yeah, I had them 9 times. It doesn't work. It's a waste of time and money. Sorry.
Oh.
For me, anyway. Hey, Violet.
So
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not trying to make
everybody
anybody
is
down, but
I would ask, like, what are you afraid of? I guess would be my first question, just because I know that with like big procedures, there's a lot of things that you worry about. So is there like a specific thing that you're
right.
scared about, or like maybe we could help you feel better about that? Because I know
Hate to
that's the
hear
way
that.
I was when
Did
they
Paula?
said I needed my thyroid surgery. I was so worried, but my surgeon was really good with answering my questions, and I luckily got into one of the better hospital systems in
Oh,
Chicago for it.
Hey,
you
Tamber.
got dry socket. That is painful. I'm so sorry.
I will say this though, I will be a positive on the negative side that if anybody ever asks
Oh
me should
man,
they
T,
do it,
that
I would
sucks.
say do it. Because this last 11 months of my entire life has been everything I could have imagined without pain. I never knew I was through that much pain. This is just something freaky that has happened. But for the last, hey, witness, I would just definitely say do it. If anybody wanted to do it, do it.
Can you
I
go
was
back to that
scared of
comment?
this. I'm a paramedic. I didn't want this done. I
I
was
would
scared of them
say
cutting my
that
throat. But you know what? I'm over that. Do it. Fix me.
Can you go back to Tamper June's comment, please?
the chronic pain
My
one.
my chronic fatigue syndrome is relapsing now. It makes me sad. I just explained chronic fatigue since childhood chronic fatigue. So a lot of people, like, sometimes when you get things in your childhood, like, people have you have a really hard time like explaining to doctors that you're not lying about that kind of pain, because you're seen as like, oh, well, you're a kid, what kind of pain could you possibly be in?
Oh God. Mm-mm.
Yeah, and so, like, I didn't have like the massive chronic fatigue like I do now. And I think that a lot of it came down after, like, all of a sudden I was starting to
Hey
heal
Sally,
myself.
welcome
I
over.
think everything just kind of opened a floodgate with my trauma, and it just
Oh,
flooded
thanks,
my
Sally.
body.
Hi, Tiff.
But
Good to see you.
if you deal with like pain stuff since like childhood, like, it's hard to get doctors to
And here's
validate
the
you even
thing,
as
like
an
you
adult, but
see,
especially as a child.
especially as a
Seizures this
child,
whole
because you
time.
see these cases where and I don't remember the family's name, but essentially the story was a mom knew something was wrong with her daughter and that there was actually something wrong, but the hospital thought that she was being abusive
What? That's the Maya
to her.
trial? The
Yeah,
Maya?
yeah,
I
Yeah,
watched every second of that trial plus the
yeah,
documentary.
and I
me
was
too.
thinking to myself, like, what people don't get is like, do you think like a 5-year-old wants to stay in bed in pain when they
No.
see their friends playing on the playground or like jumping in a jumpy house on someone's birthday? No. And also, why would I make up being in so much pain that I can't
That
go?
is
Like,
something.
I would
Maya
have
Kowalski,
my work,
hey Amy, I
like,
cannot handle that. I watched that trial and that tore
Yeah.
every bit of me out.
yeah,
Like,
Maya
even
Kowalski.
my own
It did, because the mom got villainized, and I'm sitting here
No,
like,
the
you bet
mom
your
unalived herself because
yeah.
yeah.
she wanted to save her daughter, and and
And you know
it's
what
the stupid.
I told
Ooh,
people, like,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
thing with women specifically is that we have to like advocate for ourselves so much,
yep,
because they kind of take the viewpoint of like, oh, you just are being dramatic, and like
you're a woman.
it can't be as bad as you say it is. It's
Your
like,
mom
okay,
was
well,
an
why would
yeah,
I
her mom was an
choose
RN.
to
Yeah,
be in so much pain I can't get out of bed to go to work?
Or a female assigned at birth.
she was actually an infusion RN at that. I mean, like she helped a lot of people.
Like, I had a
Your
lot of
uncle did.
medical crap when I was younger, but every time, like, I had something going on, my grandmother would act like, "Gosh, what is wrong with you now?" And then she'd get like
That's
aggro
how.
about it.
That is how we were raised. Even Gen X, everything. You know.
Oh my gosh,
Oh, Katie. Now,
that
Katie, I'm not saying don't try it. If it works for you, I mean, by all means, please go do it.
oh yeah,
Just
she's
Yeah,
saying.
everybody is different. Everybody
everybody's
reacts to
different.
different treatments different
And
ways.
also too, like, the more that you get treated for things, like the more things that you have, like the struggle with me is I have at least one autoimmune issue. Then they
Right.
took out thyroid cancer. And now I'm having to go back and get more tests done because they're like, we believe you now that you have a pain disorder.
Bring
I'm
that
like,
up,
why,
please.
thank you. I appreciate you believing
Life on Mars.
believing me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Okay, right
Um,
here. I gotta tell y'all this. I think I told y'all last night, maybe, or we talked about it. The mononucleosis is no, maybe it was just my aunt I was
Oh my
talking to
gosh, you
about it.
guys just were
Let me
I'm
just tell
now
you. So
having an epiphany.
I had a long COVID, and during long COVID, my doctor calls me back and says, "Well, besides the fact that I had a positive ANA, and so I'm like, I don't have an autoimmune." Well, you do now. Okay, well that's fine. But and when did you have mono? I said I've never had mono. Well, you tested positive for the Epstein-Barr virus, and I'm like, what the hell? So you know what I did? I called my mom. My mom said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you and your sister. Y'all both been diagnosed positive. I breastfed y'all, and I had it." Okay, mom. She said it
Thanks,
wasn't a big
Mom.
deal. She said I've never tested positive, but that's what COVID did. So, but now it's gone. It's not even testing me anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah, I just realized I have an epiphany. I was trying to figure out like what my gender project was going to be for my class, and I think I might do, if anybody wants to be surveyed, maybe I could do a survey of like people, like genders of people, and race of people versus medical gaslighting, medical trauma.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
that's for sure. Because I know too, there's like, for example, it's extremely hard for men to get diagnosed with fibromyalgia because for some reason it's seen as a woman's disease.
Yeah, but they
Like
also
there's
do
this
know that
weird,
autoimmune diseases are more prevalent in
And
people assigned
females.
female at birth.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of medical gaslighting,
Yes.
it's like, okay,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
again, like, why would somebody make up the horrible things we like the pain
Yeah.
we experience and
Like,
Gretchen, if she was here, she would tell everybody in the chat
yeah.
that. I mean, Gretchen, yeah, this is a very informal chat, and I have to vape because I'm in pain. So I apologize. I never do it on screen, but I'm doing. I cannot help it. I'm hurting. Hey, Awaken. Hey, Misha, how are you doing?
No problem. Yeah, I
Um,
think medical gaslighting is a huge problem.
oh, thanks,
It
Misha.
shouldn't take us like a million different appointments to get answers and years to get believed.
Yeah,
Like,
and I just want to go back to like Kate D's comment really quick. Like,
yeah,
we're like everybody's different. So when someone says,
really.
"Oh, this didn't work for me," and it because
Give it a try.
as you know, you said it took you 11 years to get this appointment. Like if we go through all the red hoops they want, like so for example, they want me to do like an MRI before they send me to a specialist for MS, and I'm like, but why? I have a genetic family link.
Because they have to see you.
And
You're special. You're unique.
and they have, but
oh,
they
did
also
you
have
get a
to.
genetic testing?
Well, no, but I mean, my grandmother from my birth father's side had it,
Oh, okay.
so it's like,
I've thought about getting the genetic
Uh,
testing to see about EDS.
yeah.
yeah.
Wait,
'Cause-
Misha, let me tell you, today's probably not my best day in a long time. I still have pain medicine because I can't take it from my surgery in January. Today was the closest day I've came to almost grabbing one. It's bad. So
Yeah, I had a doctor
oh my
yell
gosh,
at me,
Barbie,
like
I'm
turn at
so
me.
sorry. Ugh, that sucks.
I was trying to get
20
diagnosed and I
years.
didn't have insurance at the time, so I had to go to a low income place, which, is fine for most people, but I got this one doctor that just didn't have very good bedside manner. And she kept trying more things and I'm like, I'm not responding to those things. And then she was like, well, I don't know what you want me to do with you then.
thank you, baby.
I'm like, you're giving me options, but they're not working. That's not my fault.
No, it's not your fault. And I'm so sick of
And
doctors. I'm sorry. I'm let doctors be doctors. I'm like the hashtag let
the
doctors be
doctor was
doctors.
like, "What do you want me to do?"
But
And I was
find
like,
the
"I
right
want you
one.
to use the holes on your side of your head. Shut up and send me to somebody who can help me."
I
Like,
would
if
like
you're
her
not
enough.
gonna listen,
Yeah.
then sign the approval for me to go to another person because I can't go to another person on my own because they'll tell me that I'm doctor
Yep.
shopping.
Yes,
And
and
I'm like,
that's
listen, but doctors are giving you guys a service. This is what my best friend, who's a therapist, told me. He said, "You're," and my actual new doctor, doctors are providing you a service. And if you're paying them money and not getting results, like find a way to switch doctors.
That's
Like
really
play
great
the game
advice.
to jump through the hoops and find a way to
Right on.
switch, because you shouldn't have to waste your money on people who aren't listening to you. And that's the
And
thing that I hear so often is I was going in for
Yeah.
10 years
Mhm.
ago, but I was going in for 9 years. I was going in for 6 years with a throat problem. I went to two separate endocrinologists who told me to get a biopsy, went back to my old doctor, and he refused to sign the form to send me to to get the biopsy.
That's 2 people in here that have the Mayo Clinic. Hot Desert Chicks also.
Mm.
Oh, T,
10
thank
years, and
you.
once I got the answers.
Yeah, they literally saved her life. So
Yeah. Mayo Clinic's good, and I'm with Northwestern Medical Center in Chicago right now, which is one of the leading hospitals in the Midwest for cancer and other treatment.
Yeah, that's where my sister-in-law went. Unfortunately, she was in Montana. They'd had very little care and it progressed too fast while waiting
uh,
for results. But they
I'm a
got
paramedic, Amy. Me too.
we got one round of chemo in her before she passed at that place. And they paid for everything, which was really nice because they were like, I think back then they were also doing like more grants to really like
Mhm.
leading cancer research. So
Ugh,
it was
cancer
either
is
that place or they would have to go to Spokane, Washington, because where they lived in
Right.
Montana, the hospital had no cancer ward, no cancer doctors, nothing.
We have the best one here, an hour and a half away
Yeah.
from me for the cancer is MD Anderson.
But I wanted to say, like Tiff 420 said earlier, like the drug seeking thing. Yeah, a lot of people are seen
Yeah,
as drug seekers, especially people of color, especially women of color.
and mental health. I worked in the ER for many, many years, and I'm guilty of it as
Man.
anybody else.
I'm
I'm not
sorry that happened
afraid.
to you, Kate. That sucks.
Y'all, I'm not even afraid to say it. I mean, we called them FF, frequent flyers. And we had a little box in the back, you know, and
Yeah,
if they kept coming in for pain medicine all the time and that's all they wanted, so they just pulled a little card out from back in the nurse's station, and I'm like, "You too, Tiff?" Yep. And it's true. It's what they're called, frequent flyers, FFs. And you know what is sad is they truly. It's not all drug seekers. It's not. It's people that are having chronic pain that no one listens
hmm
to them. It
yeah,
took a lot of
and
experience to
And
get
like
to know that.
mine in my 20s, like when I was getting sick all the time, I was working food service jobs where I couldn't take off every time I got sick because I couldn't
Yeah.
get someone
yeah,
to take my shift. So there were times I went in when I should not have been there. Like I knew that I was a risk, but like what was I going to do if the doctors weren't giving me a note to go to another doctor to give my work to prove that I needed help? I was like in this constant my doctor also just gave me so many medications to treat symptoms that when I got my new GP, she's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "I want to find the reason. I will let you
yeah,
take my blood. I will let you scan me 10 ways to hell. I don't know, take everything you need to find the root of the problem." Because I was on so many medications at one point, I went insane.
yeah.
Like
I'm like a
literally, I couldn't
pharmacy,
function. It was crazy.
but thankfully, like my doctor, even though I don't quite fully like her, but we do get along, and she's helped me a lot. She lets me do like she's open to holistic ideas. So we do like a combination, what works for me. Unfortunately, for chronic fatigue syndrome or chronic fatigue in general, there's not like really many drugs out there that can help that. Like they've
Mm-mm.
upped the dosage on a couple of my things, hoping it would help it, but
So what are the
there's
okay, Mandy, explain to me chronic fatigue syndrome.
well, like I said earlier, like it feels like really sluggish. It
See,
feels
for
like your
real.
body, your limbs, everything is just really, really heavy. You get like I even like if I'm super fatigued, I can't even swallow hardly. It's almost like your
Misha, I
body
want you
starts
coming
to
in next
shut
week.
down and slow down. It can't do what it's supposed to do. And I mean, there's lots of different symptoms that come along with it. Lots of like dizziness, nausea, migraine.
What causes it?
Um, they don't know.
They don't know. Okay.
they have no
Idiopathic.
idea why most things
Idiopathic.
happen. They think a lot of stuff is like, environmental, because like a lot of trauma
Yeah.
information, like when I came on in the beginning of your inception of the channel about trauma-informed care,
Yes.
like all of this stuff is still new research, and so they're still trying to link trauma, environmental, genetics, all with these autoimmune.
But Dr. Gabriel Mate already did that. He did that years ago.
Yeah, there is a lot of research, but they're still doing more on it.
I mean, it's still, but
because there's still so many doctors that don't agree across the board either on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where you also run into issues in the medical field.
Look at COVID. Okay, perfect example.
Yeah.
Okay, Katie, you're right. You're right about that. I don't dream because I don't stay in REM like I never dream. That I do have.
Luckily for me, my secret is relax gummies. Like they work really well for me to just turn my entire back and legs into just
we can't get it here.
Like a limp noodle. My friends, bless them, they have medical cards. Shout out to the real ones, and they'll drive to like Wisconsin to the dispensary they go to.
I think I could get it.
Illinois prices are just bankrupting. Like Illinois is too much.
She had a question about my chronic fatigue.
Oh yeah, T had a question.
It's all over the place, so they don't really have it under. We don't have it under control really. Like I just have to go with what my body wants it to do.
Thank you.
I also have a lot of I have a suspicion that I have like some neuropathy issues because I get these like
nerve pain,
nerve electricity type feelings in my fingers, feet.
Okay,
legs.
You're explaining exactly what I'm sitting here going through. So yes,
girl, I walked around for years. Like I would get home with my boyfriend after Christmas shopping, and he would massage my feet and be like, "How are you walking around? Your feet are literally not responsive." And I'm like, I am walking around because I have to. Like, it doesn't matter if I can't feel my feet. I got to use them to walk. And it would be this weird, like, ever since I started paying attention more to eating and doing all this other stuff, I noticed it happens a lot less. But, like, when it happens, like, instantly.
Yeah, there's some things that can improve symptoms, like your diet. And if you don't know what to do for your diet, like I would suggest talk to a nutritionist.
Yes. It's made such a big difference being with a medical team in the same hospital system.
See, and mine's the same that sees me for psych and medical, and that's even better for me because she already knows what will and won't work together.
I also use compression gloves, sometimes compression socks, especially when I'm traveling because my legs will go crazy on airplanes. And so I get relief from having using the compression socks. Also, having really good shoes, making sure that every part of your foot is like supported. And actually, I'm going through pain in my feet where they think my arches are falling, so I'm gonna have to get orthopedic shoes.
He took me last night because we don't know what the doctor's going to say, about this. He doesn't want to see surgery, and I don't want that either. But I mean, when I did my telemed, he said we fixed that level. It shouldn't be doing that. Something's messed up. So I know what I'm going to have to go through, and I'm making myself aware of that. But what I'm scared of is I don't want another 9-month recovery. But I can't go another 9 weeks like this. I can't go another 9 days, I promise you.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. Also, like, sometimes if you take really hot showers or hot baths, like getting your circulation going can help fatigue. I have a rule where I have to, like, make myself move because I can't stand up and move for too long, but I also can't sit down for too long because everything starts to get like too tight. So making sure that getting blood flowing. I also do liquid IV or like electrolyte stuff in my water. I have
Oh yeah.
emergency salt sticks. Like
I know everybody don't want to hear the
I'm in
word
this weird-
prime, but I just got a whole 2 cases delivered.
And like I'm in this unique position where I had to cut salt intake before my thyroid surgery because it affects water retention and all this other stuff. Like
Yeah.
I've had to become like a pseudoscience person with my conditions to figure out, okay, I can't intake too much salt because I'll gain weight like lightning.
Oh, your heart is affected by that
But
too.
I can't decrease my salt intake to 0 because then I'll pass out because I need electrolytes in my system because I'm a human person,
What
you
we
know,
also
and
have electricity in our body that's made by sodium and potassium, and when they meet, we get a heartbeat.
yeah, and I also feel like the thing with me is my pain isn't like linear. It's like all over my body. It's like, oh, you
Mhm.
bumped your elbow, but your toe hurts, and now your back sucks, and now you're spasming in your leg because you hit your like I don't know. You
Oh,
cricked your
all
head
the fun
wrong in your
things.
sleep,
But
All the
it's the
fun things
truth,
our meat
y'all.
bags do.
right?
It is so true. Like, I thought everything was going to be so great. I didn't feel that pain. But then again, I didn't realize how much pain I was in for 14 years because now, am I really hurting this bad? Or is it just because I haven't had this pain?
That's
I don't know.
crazy, Misha.
I don't know.
Misha's
I think it
story
can also come
continues.
and go
She
in
was
phases.
saying that they needed to get Bradley help, but then they Social Security SSI said they had to go through their doctor, but when they went there, no one was there, but the doctor still signed off that he saw the patient.
That's how it is.
Do not use their third part. Yeah, that's how they get to you to
Yeah,
try
that's how
and
they get
deny
you.
you.
And then he
Like-
says, you know, like they're putting lies in the record, but once it's in the record, it's hard to
TJ.
disprove it.
Yep. That is true. That is
I have
true.
a medical diary. Like I started keeping a journal in my 20s because I felt freaking insane. I was getting sick all the time. Then it would be like one time I got the flu and E. coli poisoning back to back. And my work was like, you can't miss any more work. I'm like, I can't come to work. I have E. coli. We're a food rush. Like we're serving food.
Wow.
So they're like, could you try? So I went in and then I was like, no, I'll sit here till you find someone to cover my shift. Then I went to the bathroom. And by the way, with E. coli poisoning, it can make you pee red stuff. And I did that. Then I was like, I'm sorry, I have to leave. Like I'm sick. I can't work.
I have one witness. That's what this big chair right here is for, that I have my stool. Yeah, I have one. Mine is not my. Do you know that? Okay, so all the discs except for L5S1, which blew in 2001 on a patient. It great laminectomy, great doctor, just come out with the laminectomy. He was like one of the first ones to do it.
Awful.
Perfect surgery. Now it was a 10 days in the hospital because they had just come out with this surgery. Perfect surgery, perfect recovery. Never had another day's problem with it ever. I get my neck cut on, my throat cut, and now look what I would go back to the pain that I had before the surgery, then have to do this where I'm at right now. Yeah, I'm not.
Also, sometimes lymphatic brushing, dry brushing your lymph, help with some pain and chronic fatigue stuff.
Yes,
Doesn't work on everybody, but
no, you're right about that because I did not know. I sat and asked my PCP. I saw my neurosurgeon Tuesday, my PCP Wednesday, and I said, "Have you ever heard of someone all of a sudden getting a heart condition, heart failure, all of the edema that I have in my legs, and metoprolol, microphone fell, having to be put on metoprolol for blood pressure, having to be put on something for sleep, which I'm not taking, all these other meds except for my seizure meds and everything else. Have you ever heard of this just from a spinal fusion?" He said, "Cervical spinal fusion? Absolutely." I went, "Okay, thank you." It would have been great news to know before I did this.
Yeah, I wish I'd been more prepared for the hormonal stuff I went through after my surgery. Like they found, okay, so I spent 6 years having nodules filled with liquid on my thyroid, not being able to eat or drink water, getting sick all the time.
My
Switch
sister has that.
doctors, had to go through the radioactive scan, the MRI or the CAT scan, MRI, one of the two. I had to redo all the blood tests with the new doctor. And then they were like, oh, it's great that you didn't give up because we found it right before it spread to the rest of your body. And I'm sitting here like livid because I don't have the energy due to chronic fatigue and just being pissed off to go sue my old doctor. And also it's been more than 2 years. But like it just like these are people's like lives that they're effing with. Like they want to keep us sick so that they have a job. Like that's how it feels.
Okay, so then try being on the other side of it. I have a doctor that actually does do what she needs to do for me. And the pharmacy turns around and says, I'm sorry, your insurance isn't going to pay for your medicine. Who the hell died and made you the doctor? I kind of feel like that. I mean, how can a doctor how can a pharmacist or an insurance tell somebody they don't need a medicine that a doctor that went to medical school prescribed? It's bullshit. Sorry, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Tiff, I think so.
All right, I am typing in the chat.
No, you're good. I have the back open because I'm live, but I also have the chat open on mute on YouTube. So I can type in there too.
So I know not everybody can afford like expensive like skincare stuff, but one of the things I bought myself that actually really helps with like, not just gentle exfoliation, but like it's basically a massager at the same time, and I'll like use it here underneath my neck, lymph nodes, all around your sinuses, your head, temples, and like just it's like a good, nice like facial thing, but also massages you at the same time.
That sounds nice. Dude, yeah, that's the other thing is I have to jump through hoops so that my insurance will take medical massage as like a correct treatment for
it's so hard to get that.
Get 12,
so hard.
I get 12 visits to a chiropractor, 12 visits to a massage, or 12 visits. Hey, Journey.
Oh, really?
12,
Hi, Journey.
I might have to ask
acupuncture
because I know that we have new insurance, but I haven't looked at that part of it and to see if it like actually covers that. I get scared of chiropractor.
I can't do a chiropractor with my neck anymore. No, thank you.
Yeah, I get way too scared that a chiropractor is just gonna like give me.
I love it when I was seeing them, but with the same thing with chiropractors. Once you start seeing them, if you stop, you know it.
Yeah, but I have ways to like chiropract myself now. The one chiropractor I went to that I loved was it was like a heated paddle, so like it can heat up on its own, and it's like this wide and big, and he would like use it across my lower back.
No, see, mine's my upper back, my T-spine and my C-spine.
But I have like here at my house, I just have like a regular massage gun, and honestly, like that's really good for like pressure point, like if you have pain in your joints, stuff like that. I really like my my massage gun, and you don't have to get an expensive one.
Aria.
They're almost all the same.
Aria, are you in here?
Yeah, she.
Hi, Aria.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is, like we all
and
have
foam rollers,
different things that help us or don't, because even if we have the same condition, it's not going to work the same because we have different genetics.
So y'all don't laugh at me, but I have 20 different heating pads. Like literally, I have one that goes around my neck and kind of magnetic, and then I have one for stomach, and then I have one that I can't lay on. It says don't lay on it. Well, I tried to do that. Big mistake.
Mr. Percy.
You know, the weighted. Hi, baby. Oh,
He's a little
Percy.
he's a little blown
baby.
out.
Oh, baby.
Look.
He's like, "Why are you touching
But
me?"
He's
but
like, I was
the ones that
chilling.
lay on the weighted ones that
Mhm.
massage and heat. I have that. I've got a heating blanket under my fitted sheet that I
Kitty.
sleep on, and then I have a heating pad on my pillow that I sleep on. I cannot
So,
leave home without
is
it.
there a specific thing you use when you dry brush? Like, is it a specific brush?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a specific brush. You can just look up dry brush and use any of the ones that come up. I
Okay,
would
so
get
will I
the
get
curious.
wait? Will I get copyrighted if I pull that up?
So here's a couple of things that I like using. I take this
Anything we put on
with me
screen
everywhere.
is fair use.
Okay, we have
I'm
fair
just gonna
use
say that out
already on
loud.
this.
What is that one?
This is a portable massage roller. So
I have
like
one of them.
you can just pull it out, just start rolling down whatever hurts. And
I have one for my feet too.
I use the foam roller. I cannot live without my foam roller.
And you just like roll it on your back, like.
Yeah, like you just put it underneath you. I'm not going to
So never
demonstrate
leave home
really right
without
now,
it.
but
No,
then you
yeah,
just
yeah.
you just lean
Okay,
back
so
and then you
y'all
just start
saw
rolling back and forth on it.
you saw just it took me 5 seconds. There's nothing in the world like it. Amazon has never been so amazing than this invention right here. And yes, I am an Amazon influencer, even though I look like crap tonight. That would have been a good one, but I'm not
No, I
using this
don't
one.
have the earthing mat yet, but I want to get it.
This
What's
ball,
that?
it's a trigger point therapy ball. That part right there
Mm-hmm.
is like the hard the hard tissue massage, and then
Mhm.
the stripe part you roll it and it rolls out
Mhm.
the knots. All I have to do, and
Maybe
it's
I
so
should
great.
get one of those.
Oh man, they're so cheap.
Yeah, I
$12.99.
got a
Look,
set of
see, I lay
3.
you like right there. Oh god.
Yeah, I got a set of 3. One's a smooth ball and the other 2
Yeah.
have different size spikes on them. I use them on my feet as well, like on my
Oh,
arches and stuff.
I need to get those. Maybe
You can
I'll
also like use a
find those.
tennis ball. I mean,
I
Yeah.
don't
and
know what
like
this.
I'll
There's
even
nothing like this one. I love
if
this trigger.
something is like bothering my
What's a
back, my
chirp
shoulder, you can
wheel?
just put the ball there and then lean up against like the wall
That's
and
what
just
I
like
do
roll
every
it
time against
around.
the wall or something. Okay, this is hang on, it's called a trigger point. It's at therapy. I'm gonna knock this off. I have to put it up here. It's gonna be tptherapy.com.
Oh.
I just bought it off Amazon. I bought 3, they sent me 6.
Yeah, and the earthing mat is
And I
cool
love this thing.
because it just you can also they on their website they have different sizes. They have like just
Oh,
the pads, and it gives you like tiny bits of electrical like just buzzing, and it's supposed to make
yeah,
you
I
feel
can't do
like
anything with
grounded.
electricity.
It's not really electricity though, like
Okay.
or I mean it kind of is, but it's like a buzzing feeling. Like,
Oh
do you
no,
ever
no,
remember you
can't do it.
remember those like balls that have electricity that you could like put your hands on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, I have a
the
bone.
Van de Graaff.
Well, I have a
Yeah.
bone growth stimulator sitting in this closet that I've wore 3 times because it was supposed to be around my neck for the fusion, 4 hours a day. And after the third day, I was literally making myself into an anxiety panic attack because I could hear the humming going between
Yeah.
it. And you're not supposed to be able to hear it, but I heard it. And I was scared to death that it was going to cause a seizure because that does trigger my seizures. And so,
I
no,
have
thank you.
heard of trigger point injections, but I feel like
Yes, they work.
do you
For
have to
me.
like do they do bad stuff if you get them too often?
No,
Oh, okay. What is
no.
it?
It's okay. So your trigger point, like mine right now, I have one. It's like a ganglia of muscle of nerves like this, and I'm talking just like just a big ball, and that it's like an activator. You can I don't know if you get the injections or if you just use the activator, but it is so fast and so hard, like it just busted up, and then they massage it out. Or if you get the
Yeah.
injections, I'm sure it's going to do the same thing. But I'm telling you, that's what this like this trigger ball. I have a acupressure pin, but
So
I can't do it to myself. But I'm telling you that trigger point. Oh my God, it helps so much with pain.
And I think some of my trauma probably came from a couple car accidents I was in.
Yeah, one was
Um,
mine for sure.
At least the one
See,
where
I can't use the
T-boned.
tens. I have three tens units in there, but because oh God, no, I'm not. No, but because I have seizures, I've tried it, can't do it.
That
No
sounds so
electricity, no brain.
painful. Nico said that it took them years for the doctors to give him a CAT scan and actually found out that he had a broken disc in his back. And he wasn't just like making up that he was in pain.
See, that's one thing I'm grateful about, like having the privatized. On one hand, the privatized medical system, because we can choose our doctors, we can choose where we want to go. We, if we have insurance, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
Ooh.
in all honesty, I feel very, very blessed that I can go to my doctor when I need
does
it,
anybody
or
know
they
what this is?
That's the wand you were talking about on your last stream, isn't it?
Let me see that.
So back in the day,
What the
they-
hell do you have in here?
it's also a toy for the bedroom, but originally back in the day, junk science, they would have violet wands and said that they cured lots of things, lots of ailments. Like you're losing your hair, they had a comb one. They thought it stimulated the hair growth. But honestly, what I love it for is just like it's kind of like the earthing mat. Like
Oh, okay.
it's just like you can turn up the intensity however high you want it. It's really like I just do it really lightly and it just feels cool. And I'll even use the comb one, like it's around here somewhere, and just like I don't know, it just feels like a tiny little like prickly massage.
Yes,
I like
I
it.
used to have this head massager that you like could use one-handed where you like push
I
it
got
down
it in there. It goes
on your
down.
head.
Yes.
Yeah. And
yes.
like it's crazy how much tension you have like right here, like on the
Here,
top of your
I
head,
always have to top here too. Yep.
like
This
here
is where I
and
hold it.
right at the base of your neck where your head and your
Yes.
neck connect. It's
And your
like
jaws.
mm-hmm.
Your jaws.
Because that's the other thing too is, like the struggle I had before I could tell my friends like, oh, I have a nerve disorder. Because that's what they've given me the diagnosis. They're like, you have a nerve problem. I'm like, thanks, that's specific. But at least with that, I can be like, hey, friends, I know I made a plan with you 3 months ago, but today my nerve disorder acted up and I can't get out of bed. So like, I can't come to the party. But like before, I would try to make excuses like something came up or like I would mess up my schedule all the time because I was on so many meds it gave me brain fog, and then the fatigue gave me, and then like I was working crazy
and then you already have the brain fog from the condition and
condition,
Flu,
and
not
it was insane.
not fluoxetine, but fluvoxamine. Wonderful drug for brain fog. Anyway,
I've not heard of that one.
It's not Prozac. It's not the fluoxetine. It's the fluvoxamine. It's no, wait, that's not right. What is it?
Yes, everybody give well wishes to Aria on her last 11 weeks.
Yes, I know. Oh gosh.
But anyway, guys, I am going to drop out because I'm gonna go grab something to drink and eat, and then
No, okay, I'm sorry, man. Fluoxetine is Prozac. Fluvoxamine.
Yeah, that's Prozac.
Fluvoxamine is Luvox. And it's to treat OCD, brain fog, all kind of things. Like I'm talking, but if you use a 25 milligram, the 25 milligram is for the brain fog when COVID was really bad. They gave it to, and for OCD and stuff like that. But it also they use it to treat OCD, and and you have to go to the 100 milligram or up for it to actually be a psychiatric medication. So it's got to, they always say, but it is an SSRI. So, and
Yeah,
heart
and then
thing.
I'm on an SNRI right now
Mhm.
because because I have the fibromyalgia crap. They thought that would be a better switch, but I'm actually going to be talking to a new psychiatrist soon
Are
and
you?
seeing if I can get like a better
Thank
diagnosis and
you.
handle over like my bipolar disorder, my autism. I'm going to start talking to a nutritionist. So if anybody like wants to know anything about nutrition, brain, gut health, get at me
Okay,
because
so
I have
I
been
have a
Yeah, 'cause it
problem with.
I've
makes
been
all the
researching
difference
that
when you
stuff.
Do
pay
you know
attention to
how
that, for
many?
sure.
Do you know how many brain cells you have in your stomach and your digestive? 49
Actual brain cells.
million brain
Yeah,
cells that are in
it's
your
like all
digestive tract.
connected.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's
Mhm.
really important like to lessen your symptoms of like anything. Redoing your whole like gut biome and doing an overhaul of your
Yep.
diet
And
and just eating the
I
things that work for you
used to think it
can
was
like
such
really
crap,
make a
so
difference.
I really thought it was such crap.
Vitamins too, like if you're having a lot of
D.
issues and you can't get diagnosed, I really go to your doctor and ask them to do a vitamin blood draw.
Yeah.
And they like it made a huge difference for me when my vitamin B plus levels got into the double digits because that and my vitamin D were like below 10.
My D is
And
Yeah,
definitely.
my D
It's,
was down too.
B
here's
plus
the
is
thing.
what creates
1,
the
2, 3.
myelin sheath on your nerves. But when you have a nerve disorder, the thing is like your myelin sheath is weak, and then your nerves are basically touching nerve to nerve instead of having a sheath to protect.
Now let me ask you all: have you not noticed this coincidence? And I know that I do this all the time, and maybe it's OCD of me, and that's where my mind goes. D down. Okay, so look how many people in this one chat have had low vitamin D. Guess what? Before COVID, never had that. Sorry, I'm not trying to blame everything on COVID, but I've never seen this before.
Oh, I did
Every
before
single
COVID.
one of my, I've never seen, every one of my patients has low vitamin D right now. It's everywhere. I mean, literally
It's
could
also
not.
because
Yeah,
the
I
foods
wonder.
we eat and certain chemicals the U.S. uses to preserve their food also
Well, thank God for the
clash
man
with
that's going to
vitamin
US,
D. So if you
going to
have
be making our
conditions
food
or
healthier.
issues processing certain vitamins, it's probably because the U.S. uses a lot of chemicals other countries don't allow to preserve our food with, and so
Yeah, less sunlight.
for
So if you
example,
stayed indoors a lot,
vitamin C
I took.
counteracts something, and vitamin C counteracts or decreases how much my thyroid medication can be absorbed. So I have to take
Oh
my
yeah,
multivitamin at like 8 p.m. instead of in the morning because I have to take
look
the
at T.
thyroid medicine in the morning and then wait an hour and a half
An
to
hour.
eat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
I
have
so
to
take
take
mine at night,
10,000 units.
so I'm going to bed. I take 10,000 a week of. I know 50,000 a week of vitamin D.
Yeah, for
Once a week.
mine, it's because of my celiac disease. The celiac
Yeah.
disease depletes your nutrients and your vitamins in your
Hey,
body, and you have to
Skylight, how are
constantly be
you?
hi Skylight
repairing your
Night, good to
system.
see you.
So yeah, low vitamin D is common with celiac. Like your body can't hold on to the same nutrients. It has a harder time holding on to it. So definitely like
And a
upping your
I
vitamin
texted her.
D.
A nutritionist is a really good idea because they'll be able to tell you what to eat. Like if your food and your supplements are working together. So I eat a lot of like leafy greens and like stuff with vitamin B in it.
They're saying that wait, what did y'all tell me that day when I said, why am I vitamin D deficient? I'm in the sun all the time. Somebody said it's the uptake, right? It's not necessarily that I wasn't getting it. My body just wasn't
processing it correctly.
Processing it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 30 points below the minimum or something like that.
Well,
that was like years ago, and now it's like normal. But now I know I have to constantly be taking those. Otherwise, it will just go right back down. Plus, I live in Pacific Northwest. There's not a whole lot of sun. So most people here would do better with taking extra vitamin D anyway.
Vitamin D is definitely
especially through winter.
Yep. And then Tiff is right about that. Oh, Skylight, you got vitamin D. Oh, see, Y'all, I'm telling y'all, this is not a coincidence. You could not have gotten in a chat just this random and had this many people say they have to be on vitamin D now. I just don't know
Well, I
what's
just don't
going.
think a lot of people got their shit
Oh, that's really
looked at
interesting.
either.
Yeah, why don't our doctors tell us about that?
What
Tell
are you
about
finding?
what?
Oh, someone in the chat mentioned I don't know how to pronounce it. Fascia. It's like the connective
Oh, your
tissue
fascia? It's your fascia.
around your organs
Yeah,
and
your
stuff
fascia.
can be
Mhm.
like affected by trauma, and a lot of people in our community also have like severe traumas in the past. Like same with fibromyalgia can be caused by trauma that you've experienced.
hmm
So
There's a lot of conditions that can be caused by trauma, like heart issues,
Oh, yeah.
stomach
And
issues.
you're right, Mandy. That's why I asked him, did he think, in his personal opinion, that I knew what that was in medical school. So yeah, but I did not know like anybody was having issues with that. But
Yeah,
so
I just think that
oh yeah, that's
our
they do
typical
add vitamin
diet.
D to milk in the US too. I just
and I
can't
do not
drink
drink milk,
dairy.
so
I
I don't
can't
drink
drink
milk.
dairy milk.
I
Yeah,
drink
I don't
coconut
drink
milk.
dairy.
So that's another reason why we have to try that much harder to get vitamin D.
We're just getting
But
less nutrients in general in some of our foods.
well, let's hope that's changing soon because I think we're going to have somebody great over the USDA, hopefully.
Also, make sure that when you get your supplements, you research the company because some companies just put
Mhm.
filler and they're not actually putting everything that they say they are in those pills.
Mandy.
So
Yes,
there
ma'am.
are some really amazing companies out there that
Yes, ma'am.
actually are good supplements.
Yeah, you're exactly because didn't you say something about that on
And
either one of
another
your
thing,
lives?
if you have
Probably.
if
I
you
heard
have
that.
medical conditions, it's very important that you follow up with testing. Like luckily my
Drug
dad,
interactions also.
not just that, but like liver and kidney. Like if your liver and kidney function go down because medications aren't working properly, it can
Yeah.
really affect everything quite significantly. I never knew so much about how my body worked till they took my thyroid out. I went through, well, I think I texted Mandy on Facebook and I was like, what's happening to me? I'm waking up like a swamp monster. And she's like, you're getting night sweats.
Yeah.
Are you going through like premenopause? And I was like, I don't know. My hair is also thinning and falling out and I can't sleep and I'm going
Thyroid.
psychotic because it took
Hi,
them
Ben.
like 8 months to get my thyroid dose correct. Like they started at a low dose and kept raising it to like see where they needed to stop. And in that
Right.
time, I was just like not prepared emotionally. Like if they had told me like you don't have to go on chemo, you won't lose your you won't lose your hair, you're not going on chemo. So when I started having like menopause, basically, I didn't know what was going on. I wish they'd prepared me for that because I know women in my family, they go
Misha.
really intense
Yeah.
with their menopause. And so I was like, I wish you had been like preparing me for that.
Wait. I was gonna answer Misha's real quick. I wanted to say something about Misha. So, where's Awaken Sus?
Yeah, I think we should also be getting our
Okay,
hormone
so
levels checked just in
the
case.
tanning
too.
beds. Okay, I don't care. I'm not going to listen to it. I'm sorry, y'all. I love everybody, but nobody will ever tell me to stay out of a tanning bed because it's not going to happen. I'm either going to be out there in the vitamin D in real life. I mean, in the sun, I'm going to go to a tanning bed because when I
Sunblock.
had my,
Sure you
when
have
I had my tanning bed, my back didn't hurt. It was like the super heating pad.
Yeah, but I would be
Please
careful with that because
don't get
tanning beds
skin.
can increase skin cancer. I mean, so can being out in direct sunlight, but
I'm in that direct sunlight. Sun therapy, baby. Got to have it.
Sunblock. Make sure you're wearing sunblock.
I wear coconut oil.
What the? I want to just jump through the screen right now. Did you see the look at my face? I was like, Kayla. What are you doing?
The one time she fell asleep.
Remember how burnt I got when I
Oh my
fell
God,
asleep?
I was like, do you have asthma for that? Jesus.
Jeez.
And
That's
sun
what
does
Texas.
actually help with other stuff too. Like I have
You're-
psoriasis, which is also autoimmune.
And the sunlight helps that.
Sunlight helps that. So like
Mhm.
I'm getting the ball rolling on stuff because I'd rather them poke me and be like, you don't have that, and I can just be like, great, next.
Yeah,
So I was
also,
like, they want to rule out so many things before they test me for the thing I'm asking to be tested for. And I'm like, why can't you just test the thing I'm asking for? And then if it doesn't end up being that, we can move on. Why do you have to put me through like it's not lupus, it's not this? I'm like, okay, yeah, well,
Talk to Skylight. I think she's got like the most. I'm not trying to. I was trying to cook myself this summer. Now there's no. But there's no more sun.
yeah, so one other thing is like if you don't eat fish or something, I would suggest
yeah, I
fish
agree
oil,
there, Skylight.
omega-3 fatty acid supplement.
I can't because of my liver.
Unless you have like liver issues, but especially for females assigned or people assigned female at birth, we need more like salmon. Like salmon
Yes.
is
I
really, really good
love
for us.
Hey, my dogs
salmon.
have
It's
salmon
my
oil.
favorite fish. I love fish. Oh my god. If I was an animal, I'd be a cat or a
Red
bear so
snapper
I
is
could
me
just
all
eat
over
all
it.
the fish.
I'm all over red snapper.
All right, guys. I hope
Mandy, thank you.
Thank you, Mandy.
people got something out of my suggestions. This
No,
is where we
do
need to
appreciate-
I like brainstorming, but I feel like I need to take notes because I want to start organizing like lists for people that, if like, like
Hey,
this, if people want to know what works for you, I'd be like, hey, this is my list. Try
I
it
was in
out.
therapy today, and my therapist and I spent my entire therapy time because I didn't want to get all down in the dumps
Yeah,
because I was
that's
hurting already, and she didn't want me to get there. So I spent my entire hour of therapy. We were looking for her a AI program that will help her keep organized, so she can make her to-do list and it'll tell her when to come up. So that's what we did today.
But I need to definitely do what you do, Indigo, and keep a medical journal of my symptoms and stuff. But I'm so terrible at remembering to write stuff
And I'm
down.
doing it.
Oh,
I'm
wait.
doing
Hot
it
desert
because I've
chick.
been on
Hot
and
de-
off like 3
hot-
SSRIs in the last 12 years.
Yeah, that'll hurt your
So
heart. Hot desert chick. I like it. Hang on a second.
Hot desert chick. I found a good vegan omega-3 since I'm allergic to fish. Oh, yeah. See, I know that people are allergic to fish, so that kind of stuff wouldn't work for you. But that's good that
wait,
they have
what's your
vegan version.
your hack hot desert chicks? I want to know. I'm not allergic to fish, but that would be interesting to have alternatives like for a
Mhm.
document or something like here's things to ask your doctor if you're experiencing this.
Yep. And don't be
especially because,
afraid I'm sorry, I don't to cut you off before I jump off. Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself. I am telling my
If
partners
you
all the
don't
time, you
advocate
need
for
to bring it up.
yourself,
You need to bring it up.
nobody will.
Like, don't wait for the doctor to tell you something. Like, just go, hey, I'm thinking about this. Like, what do you think? And just like
yeah,
talk it out
because
with
if
your
you don't
doctor.
advocate for yourself, there's not
Who
going to be
will?
somebody that will, unfortunately.
Yes, Tamber, for pot stuff, like I'm on medication that actually lowers my blood pressure.
Yeah, she'll give it.
So I have to be
Okay,
careful with
she'll give it
that.
to me. I'll post it. I'll send it to y'all. She'll give it to me when she gets home.
Sounds
I love you
good.
guys. Thank
Love
you.
you too, Mandy. Thank you so much.
I will talk to you
Love you.
soon.
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
collagen makes a huge difference. Bye. Collagen
Okay, I'm gonna
is
drop
like
the
what
link.
grows your hair and everything.
Let me drop this link.
Oh yeah, if anyone wants to join us, go ahead
Yeah.
and we're gonna drop the link in the chat.
I think if depending on how many people want to come up, what did y'all decide? Like 15 minutes or so.
Something like that, yeah.
Just yeah, so everybody has a chance if they want. So I'm so useless tonight.
You're not at all. You're going through a lot. It's okay to sit back and have people
I'm
help you
leaning
out.
on that ball on my shoulder.
I know, right? That's
Where's
the other
my-
thing too. It's like the more that I was open.
Amber, jump in.
Go
Hey,
hit the
Nico.
link that I posted as mental health matters up there.
Oh, Oh, Aria, thank you. Right now I'm in a lot, but I'm gonna try to move. There we go. Oh, that shows my dirty office floor. Can't bend
I
over
was
to pick it
trying
up.
forever to like blur my background so you didn't see my mop bucket, but I was like, I can't figure out how
I
to
don't
blur it.
care. I cannot pick all this up with one hand. And here is my aunt that was supposed to be coming over.
Oh, she's in the chat. How do you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can I
I'm
add to
sorry,
Sage?
Tamber.
I can help.
Yeah. Can you get her? Yeah, you should be able to. There you go. Yay.
Hi, Tamber. Oh my God, it's
Hey,
nice to meet
Tamber.
you.
It's
Good
nice
to
to
see
see
you
you finally.
Good to see
Oh,
you finally too. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
yes, I can.
Oh, that's great.
Nico, will you come back, please?
Yeah, so yeah, this has been great to chat with you guys. I mean, it's so hard dealing with everything we do that, like, I always say just one breath at a time because sometimes even
Breathe
that's
in,
too much.
breathe out, and I made it. That's how I have to go sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know so many of us have been like on the brink of not being here anymore, and it's so scary. And so, like, having to every day, wake up and realize, is this, how's this day gonna go? And we still don't know. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Oh,
that kind of like what if always gets to me. I have really bad anxiety anyway. So, it's just like,
so I have
just want to
anxiety,
breathe
Tamber, and
one breath at a
that's
time.
it.
Well,
I don't.
especially when you have that like an NDE experience, it's like really
Yeah.
hard to.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
had 3. Yeah.
I've
Well,
had
no wonder.
one. I had one NDE and one a self-delete attempt in when I was 27. But like when you have a near-death experience, it's so bizarre having that knowledge of like I chose to be here.
Yeah. Would it be better if I went
Just-
this way? No. Okay.
No, you're good that way.
Great. But yeah, no, I agree with you. Choosing to not, like, I just had this force, but all I could say was no. Like when I
Yeah.
had mine, like that was the only
Did
thing in my
you
head.
like?
Nope.
Did you when you like came out of it? Did you kind of just like see people's bullshit? BS faster. Like
We're
Yeah.
kind of like
plenty
when you
into
have
it.
an NDE, like I feel like it just puts so much into perspective where it's like
Yeah.
this drama doesn't matter, this stupid horse poop
I feel the
doesn't
same
matter.
way.
A
No, really, I would love to know
1000%.
that.
1000%. It was just so. I was actually going to talk to Duncan about this. I still plan on doing it once he
I
shows
know
the
he's
house.
great with it.
Yeah, he and I have chatted quite a bit about this, but it's quite amazing. I was only 19 at the time, and I really had a big view of the world. And I grew up in a household that really, encouraged spirituality. We were really like, when I was younger, I thought, it's like we die and we go to heaven and that's it.
Mhm.
And so to find out, yeah, that's probably it, maybe, but like, there's something else when you're dying. It's not just, you blink
Yeah.
and you're there.
I don't know if it's because I read so many experiences by people who described it as like a warm feeling or like a white light. But I very definitely, like when I was 26, I want to say I got T-boned by an SUV because they were going 80 in a 35 and I was in a Mazda. I was in like,
You're a miracle.
and
Yes.
well, I fully believe that the people who guided me and were part of my life are watching over me
Mm.
because I should have been broken in that car accident. Like the car was totaled, like the rental car I was
Wow.
in got totaled. The inside of the driver's door came off the door on the inside of the car, and I
Wow.
ended up with a concussion and nerve damage.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that accident is where I got my nerve trauma
Wow.
from. But I remember there was a moment where I blacked out because I got a concussion and the car spun around. And then the EMTs show up and they're like, don't move because they have to reach through the car and like put me on a stretcher. And then
Please,
I was
man.
in the ambulance. I remember saying, I'm going to take a little nap.
And they're like, no.
And
Nope.
I closed my eyes for probably less than a second. Because of course they're like, no, who's the president? Who's your mom? Like, what
I remember those
year is
questions.
it? Yeah. And so I remember going outside of my body and looking down at the ambulance and thinking, I could be done with this. And then my next thought was, I'm only 26. Like, surely there's like more life for me. And I
Yeah.
remember like coming back into my body when the EMTs were like trying to wake me up, but it had to be like less than a second of time going by for that. So
yeah, it's very crazy. There is no sense of time when that's happening. And that, like, for myself, it happened 3 times.
oh
Or
man.
Did it?
actually, yeah,
Was
3
it different?
times. I was in the same bed for actually 2 of those times at home, and my dad was there, and he was just praying. He was sitting there just praying I wouldn't die. And then the other time I was in the emergency room, and they had sent me over from a doctor's appointment, and the doctor was like, "Nope, gotta go in. Like, this is not good." And they gave me 40. I heard them saying 48 hours to my parents. Do you want her on hospice? What do you want to do? And my dad and
Yeah.
my mom fought for
Oh,
me because they asked me, because I could like blink and say no and that kind of thing, but that was pretty much it. And
My gosh. I'm glad
it
you're
was
with
quite
us.
it was quite a lot, and it put everybody in my family through a lot of terrible trauma. Um,
Well, yeah.
but when I
Like,
heard
Tim.
that, like, I just
Mhm.
that's when I was seeing the light, and I felt like I wanted to go like out of my body, like you were saying, like
yeah.
just like get out and it would be easier. But then I just literally felt a force, like just
Well,
like
like for
push me
me,
back and just put that
What?
no in my
when
head.
I saw past the
And
light, I mean, my birth parents died before I was 25. So, like, my birth mom died when I was 26, and my birth father died when I was 18. And so there was almost this moment where I could see them, and I was like, that's my mom and dad. I mean, obviously, like, I have my biological aunt adopted me. So, like, they're the parents that raised me. But I had this moment of like, I could be with them. Like,
yeah,
I could go to my parents
it
right
feels right,
now.
kind of. Oh, it felt right for me over there,
Yeah.
which is why
And
Amber,
every
then,
on
day I wake
yours,
up and I'm
yeah.
kind of like,
But
can
it
I?
was
Did
bizarre
you?
because I was like, I believe in reincarnation. So I was just like, half of me was like, if I do this, I hope I don't come back as like a serial killer or like a dung
you're a good
beetle or
person.
something. I was like, yeah.
Timber, have on the 3 that you have, sorry, on the 3 that you have had, has it been similar? Like the, I'm not talking about how and all that. I'm talking like after while you're in those experiences, is it the same or different?
I feel like different each time. So like the first time I had, I had the life review, which is where stuff from your past plays in your mind, kind of like a movie. So
Hmm.
for me, it was just like snapshot.
Oh wow!
Um, and I was like, I'm dying. Like, this is what they say happens when you're dying. Like, I'm dying. Okay, let me
Yeah.
tell my dad. Like, I'm dying. And it was just really, really crazy. And then the next time I had gotten up to a place where, like, in my brain, I was physically walking around with
Oh wow!
someone, and there were people there, and I wanted to be there. And it wasn't my time. It was like, you can be here, but you don't have to be here. Like,
Right.
and then
Were you,
so
were
I
you
think
given
I
a
fought
choice,
so hard.
or was
Yeah,
it?
but I felt like I knew my dad was there. He was holding my hand. He was, praying with me or for me with me.
Yeah.
Um, and like everybody else was too, because like I said, at this point in time, they when I went to the hospital, probably a week later, they're like, she got 48 hours to live.
Yeah.
So Yeah, he was there, and so I just felt like I needed to tell him. So then I came out of it to tell him, like, I think I'm dying. And
Uh-huh.
then it happened. So after the life review, I told him, and then it happened again where I was able to go up there and talk to the
Wow.
people. Well, not really talk to them, but like see them, and like I felt like I just, it's so interesting. And I just it kind of made me feel better about my beliefs, because that's kind of what I believe already,
Hmm.
was just like things would be, I would feel okay, if I died.
Yes.
And so now I'm
Yeah.
not afraid of death, like at all. Not for myself, not for other people. Yes, it's sad when they leave us,
See,
but
I'm
like,
the opposite. I'm like, I'm not afraid to die, but like I'm afraid to lose people. Because
yeah,
between 18 and 28, my birth father and all my mom's siblings died.
I'm okay, Ben. Thank you.
And so I was like, I'm like scared to
It's
death of
hurting.
losing people. Like when COVID happened and people were like, oh, why don't we just not follow the rules? I'm like, no. Like if you care about
No,
me and you
I'm
care
a
about your
paramedic. I was out there with those people. Follow the rules, and we wouldn't have all this crap.
well,
Sorry.
no, but I mean,
true.
for me too, I was like, I had been diagnosed with cancer in lockdown.
Yeah.
And so I was like, if you don't want to get vaccinated and you don't want to follow the rules, I'm straight up not going to see you.
Yes,
Because it would be like a version of self-harm to do that, because it would be like putting myself in a compromised position. But like, I just can't even think, like my dad, yeah, 2022 was like the worst year of my life. My dad had a stroke in March of 2022. He's fine now. And then in June, we found out my niece had a rare genetic disorder. And then we found out in November that I had cancer.
Oh my
my
Lord.
goodness.
So
I
when
don't
my
know how
mom
you
called
make
me
it.
and she told me about my dad, she was like, oh, your dad's sick in the ICU, but he's fine. And I was just like, no bedside manner. I love her to death, but no bedside manner. I disassociated out of my body, had to like stop my work day. And my roommate was like, come back to your body. Like my roommate had to like put me on the couch and like talk me back into my body, because I was just so like, I can't even touch that thought, like that anyone I care about is not going to live forever. I just can't.
So kind
It
of
is
like I
really,
get a phone call from my mother after working a 72-hour shift on the ambulance. I had the flu. Did not even want to. I could barely make the hour drive home after working 72 hours, and I was so sick with the flu.
Yes. Oh,
And then I got home, laid down, and 2 hours later, my stepdaughter comes running there. Kayla, you got to get on the phone. Somebody's screaming. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, I was like in a daze. I was already so sick. And all I heard was screaming in the background. And then my mom, her voice in this monotone, you need to get down here. Your dad's dead. What are you supposed to do
yeah,
with that?
yeah.
I mean,
I I was there in
yeah.
April. My mom passed April 1st, and we didn't tell people till April 2nd because April Fool's Day. Um, so we
I was
just
just like,
kept it
Man,
under wraps.
right. People would be so insensitive. They'd be like, that's not a funny
Yeah.
joke. Well, it's not a
Um,
joke. It happened.
no. And I just got the screaming call from my dad. He's like, I'm supposed to give her CPR, but she's dead. Like epilepsy at that time from brain damage and stuff. So she just had a seizure when she was, I guess, sitting up to take a drink or something, maybe even to take her seizure meds, and then she passed out and never woke back up. But
I know I did not sit
yeah,
the
I
thumb
can imagine
members
And
only.
grief,
getting those calls, but like I always pick up the phone right away because I'm just like, every
No,
time it rings, I'm like,
I know that's
and
where I've gotten to the point of, okay, so I'm just making sure, like, I didn't know how many people we had in here
then
before I.
like I just saw Nico's comment that was on the screen about the time slowing. That's exactly how it felt. It's like I was at the stop sign. I was like, okay, I lived in this area my whole life. I know that the car is 3 blocks. Like this car, let me tell you, was 4
Oh,
blocks
yeah, whatever,
away
Skylight.
past
I didn't have
past
makeup on.
a light thingy, traffic light.
yeah,
And I was like, okay, I have time to speed up and get across. He's only going 35 miles an hour or 25 or whatever it was. And then he hit me. Like, that's how quick, like, that's how
Wow.
much the guy was speeding. And I just, it did, like, time slowed down. I was like, I'm in a car accident. Like I had the thought, like I'm in a car accident, and then I blacked out, and the guy behind me is the one who called the police. And my phone flew in the
Skylight.
back seat. It was a whole thing. And I just like look back and I'm like, someone was watching over me because I should have had my leg should have been broken.
From the side.
One,
Like the
two,
damage
three,
on the
four,
car,
five.
like
There you go.
seeing the damage on the car, like I should have had a broken leg, but I didn't. It was almost like the airbags and everything popped off just like right the way it needed to protect me, because I looked at the damage on that car and I was like, how the hell did I get out of this with a concussion? And then like an idiot went to work 4 days later.
I can't believe they.
My work
I did
was
not-
like, please don't like, if you've been in a car accident, please don't come in. And I was like, I need the money. And my work is like, please don't come in. But I went in anyway.
Yeah, don't thank me.
mean, what can we-
Thank Mental Health Matters and thank YouTube. They let us give 10 away a month. We did 5 last night and there's 5 tonight.
I heard you mention that.
Yeah.
On the
So I
dog.
just threw them out
yesterday.
there.
That's fabulous. Yeah. So yeah, the NDE thing just kind of.
That's
Having
really.
that.
I would like to have you. Oh, you're welcome, Katie.
We should bring you.
We should bring you on.
A mod that's here put the Facebook group link in case people aren't in the Facebook group.
But
mean,
yeah, I'd be
I
happy
could do
to
it.
chat with whomever.
And Red will do it. Red's back here. She's got it. Mhm.
But there was something I wanted to mention. I can't think about it, but I remember it was
Aria?
having to do with
Mandy.
Oh yeah, so I have a really like long history with mental health, and like both my parents worked in it as a kid. My sister was going to counseling when she was young, and then I was diagnosed with autism at 12, and started medication not long after that. It's just a lot of things with my whole family. So I really, really appreciate the truth getting out there and having a safe space for people with these problems. To even just chat in the chat, not even to have to like come on and show your face, but even to just know that there are people there that are talking about this and you're not alone. And we all deal with it differently, but that doesn't mean we're not all going through things that are just as horrific to each of us. And it's all relative.
Well,
so
Ben, why don't
everybody,
you jump
please
in?
don't. Everybody, please don't think that just because one person is going through more things than you, or something that might be quote unquote worse than what you're going through, that your pain and suffering is not valid.
Gotcha,
because
Red.
it is. And I always try to get that point across. People are like, oh, it's nothing compared to what you go through. I'm like, it's all relative, okay? Like,
Right. Yeah, I mean, Tamara, I'm sick. I hear that too all the time. Everybody says that to me. Oh, Keila, but you're going. First of all, I'm not going through anything different than what you're going through. You're just as important as I am. It might be different, but we're all. Yeah, no, Katie, I love that. A Red had to step out. She'll be back. Oh God. I like Katie's perfect.
yes.
No trauma. Oh, yeah. Let me post that. No trauma Olympic. That is exactly right. Ben,
That's
if you're
what I
still
tell
in
people. Like,
here, good night, honey.
it's especially important for people, like anybody listening, to understand, like, if anybody ever tells you someone has it worse than you, that's not a good person to keep in your life, because it's not about comparing the trauma that you've been through. It's about your journey and where you've ended up. Like, we've all experienced pain, and like there's also so many people in this group that suffer from like low self-esteem from things they've been through, or they just don't believe that, I don't know, they're good people for some reason.
I can
And I
tell you
think
one of the
that
reasons, why, Indigo. It's called negative core beliefs. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I did my negative core beliefs a year ago in therapy, and she said it's been a year. I want to send you your new ones. I mean, on your old ones, and then I want you to have these ready to go. She gave me an excuse since it's a little hard to write, but the negative core beliefs, like, so she wants me to
Oh,
redo them
okay.
because
Yes.
I do 6 of them a year, and I cleared 4 of the 6 just through EMDR and through talk therapy journaling, which I can't journal
Yeah.
because of ADHD, so I verbal journal on
Yeah.
my phone. My
That's still
notes.
That's
journaling.
really good.
Yeah,
And I want to say
and
to
so
anybody, like, getting the
I
thoughts
have
out
all
of your
this.
head is the point. If you draw
Yes,
pictures, if
yes,
you voice
it
record
works.
yourself or do a video journal or you handwrite it, it's just getting the thoughts out of your head. Because I've done a lot of research into obviously men and women have different stress hormones, but essentially what happens if you repress emotion and you don't deal with it is it actually causes a chemical imbalance on top of the other trauma that you've experienced. And so
That's true.
basically what you're doing is like heightening the flight fight response essentially.
Mhm.
And you can't live like that. Like the first time I lived completely alone in 2018, I left my abusive ex, and then I got stalked twice. And so I was always in a state of like, I'm sick all the time. I'm stressed all the time. Like I can't. And that really taught me like, listen to your body.
Mhm.
If your body says you can't do 5 chores today, you have to sit on the couch and watch TV and relax. Listen to that, because if you force yourself while you're in pain to do something, it will cause worse problems later on.
Yeah, and as they said, don't let your pain get to the point that your medication is ineffective. Well, when all you could take is ibuprofen or Flexeril. I mean, I had my leg broken 5 places in 2021, and I took Flexeril, Toradol, and my Xanax, and hang on, the Toradol injections, the 800 milligram ibuprofen, and all that. Just and then the Flexeril just knocked myself out the whole day.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh, I should grab Misha, you should share your link for your music. It's really, really
everybody share your
powerful.
links,
Share
please.
your links and we can grab them for our document so we can like
Yes.
spread the love. But it's like, I
Yeah.
think it's interesting, like, because you said you had 3 separate times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For
That's
the
got to
near
be like
death experience.
disorienting.
It may have actually been 4, but when I was lying in my bed at home, I had at least 2, if not 3. And then when I was at the hospital, I had that other one. But that last one just like told me like, no, you're not ready to go yet. But I couldn't believe it when it was happening. And then after the second one, I was like, okay, this is really happening. I better,
I think the
tell
other
everybody
thing
I
too
love
is
them.
like everything's connected, like spirituality, health, mental health, emotional health, physical health. It's all
Yeah.
connected. And Western medicine does a disservice trying to separate it all and act like they're not intertwined. Because I would think like when I became
They all are.
like
Mental
stronger
care,
and
brain care is health care.
when I got, and I'm saying like mental and spiritual are 2 separate things. When I got like
Oh, okay.
more connected to like who I am spiritually,
Hmm.
I still have my pain issues, but I feel like they're a little bit easier to deal with now that I'm like embracing my actual spiritual growth and like talking to my friends, and we like do stuff together with that.
That's
Yeah.
helpful when you have a group to really to talk to about it. Because sometimes I feel like when I was doing it, it was by myself and I was quiet and I was journaling a lot and um like I went to several different churches as a kid and
Wait a minute.
even
Okay, let me
I
turn
don't know if
a
it's
little
going to
bit
focus.
bright.
wait, turn that light off a bit. Okay, focus.
It's hard to read the text.
My
me
nervous
get it up
system
here.
There.
after being
Oh,
yeah.
after living, yes. for 2 decades. It's just like
We can't even
fried.
fight or flight forever. Like, and it's
Yeah.
also fight, flight, freeze, fawn, all of
Fawn,
those.
People
fright,
forget
yeah, fight,
about
yeah, freeze,
I think
fawn,
people forget about fawn out of
Yes.
the
fawn,
4
yeah.
because um out of all of them, I think fawn is the biggest survival instinct because
you,
it's like
I was
play
never,
along with the person, like placate them, get to
let's
the
see,
next moment
Yeah.
kind of thing. And that I think is when people develop like severe people pleasing
Yes.
to
I'll
the
put I'm
point
gonna put all
where
this. If I didn't have it drawn, I didn't have it up on my computer, so it should start focusing. Hang on, let me get it really close and then back up. I
yeah,
didn't have
Oh,
it
fight.
that's cool. There's a diagram with the different.
with the fight,
Yeah,
flight, freeze, or fawn.
and
So
That
I'll
I
put it on.
actually
I'll
watched
post
a
it on.
video that explained too,
Yeah.
like it's more like a Venn diagram situation where they can
Thank you,
cross
Awake.
over.
Nisha, thank you.
Yeah, and I think it's important to understand, like, if you're a fawn flighter,
Yeah,
like you
fawn,
either
people pleaser.
if you run away or you fawn, and then you try to communicate with someone who's a fighter,
Yeah, let me read these
you're
categories real
not going to
quick.
communicate because you
I've
guys
been
have
there.
separate
You
trauma
guys-
responses.
So
right?
trauma responses: fight, control is anger, controlling, the bully, narcissist, explosive, flight, workaholic, overthinker, anxiety, panic, OCD, hard sitting still, perfectionist, freeze, hard making decisions, stuck, disassociation, isolating and numb, and then fawn, people pleaser, lack of identity, no boundaries, overwhelmed, codependent.
Yeah, I was
I'm a
fine for
flight.
almost my whole
I'm a
life.
freeze flight, I think. Yeah, I'm a freeze flight. Either I'm like, there's a problem here and we're not communicating. So I'm just gonna leave until we calm down. But I relate to that feeling like before I started therapy, like I would disassociate from the stuff that happened to me. And I was explaining to my roommate, I'm like, it is so weird. The biggest step I made in therapy is now I'm aware when I'm disassociating.
Yeah, isn't that
Because I've done
interesting?
like so much mindfulness and so much like, how do you feel right now? Like, I get super fuzzy right before I disassociate. Like, my entire body just fuzzes. Like, I don't
Well,
know how
anger,
to.
your fight, Blake. I'm sorry, I'm listening. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Indigo. I'm trying to read all his stuff.
Mine are fawn, flight, anxiety, overthinking, anger, and control. I could see that.
Okay, so let's see. Control and anger. That's your fight. Anxiety, overthinking.
Overthinking is a loop because I feel like what happens
It
is
is
if
a
you're
loop.
if you're in flight and you're like, I need to leave, there's something wrong.
Hmm.
And then
Thanks.
it like
Thank you.
becomes this loop of like you overthink everything because you're like, wait, am I experiencing this? So I want to say
Katie,
to
right?
anybody, like,
Oh my God, Katie's
Yeah.
so right. Oh my God, yes.
depending on the situation, but I think like what I've learned too is that
Y'all can jump in if you want.
yeah, if you guys want to pop in.
Yeah, I
see
can
what-
go. Someone can jump
No,
in.
you don't have to
But-
get out. Actually, I'm gonna have to.
Oh, okay.
My
We'll have
aunt's.
like a
No,
group chat.
no,
I
I'll
loved
be
it
right
so
back. My
much.
aunt's about to drive up. I gotta unlock the door for the dogs go nuts and
I
start
love it so
barking
much
like
though,
crazy.
like talking
But
with
you're
everybody in the
stay.
chat and talking with you guys. Like,
Yeah, it's so nice to meet you.
I know
It
you.
I
It's
see you
very
in the
nice.
chat. So
You. I really want you to. If you feel comfortable, I would love for you to come on and talk about all what you've been through. Have more
yeah,
time.
definitely. My problems are dynamic, of course, just as yours. So it would depend on when we both feel up to it. But
Right.
yeah, or like
So I was gonna tell Haley or Indigo is going to be filling in for me. When and if this, I'll find out
Yeah.
Wednesday after the MRI's done. So
yeah, and I mean, please. keep us
yeah, so we're
posted.
working behind the scenes to kind of make a list and see
yeah,
if there's people who want to do lives or like if people could help us pre-record even
Yeah.
to like post to the channel for because like just different methods while she's in recovery too because it's gonna
and
be
Red
a
is
bit
my
of
other half. So what she
Yeah.
like, Red is the mod. She's the
She's
OG mod. Red
wonderful.
she is my other half, and she knows exactly. She'll tell you, nope, yeah, no, yeah. So I have no with
That's
Indigo,
perfect.
with Red. I'm with Blake, with Mandy, with any of them, Hamina, Rachel, I'm good.
Everybody's
Everybody's in good
wonderful.
hands.
Yeah.
Aria, I mean, everybody
Yeah.
knows. So
I feel like
yeah,
our night
and
our late night chats too just bring us a lot closer together.
Yeah.
right.
So I think that that
We are
part
going to
the support
drive
group
this
really is
bus
key to it.
safely with protocols in place.
Oh man, her and Rachel made time for hammer throwing.
Oh, nice to see you, Nikki Yeg. Nico YEG.
Mm.
All right, Nico.
They
I
were
always
here, but
try to
then they
pronounce
left.
words all as like one thing. And like sometimes people are like, no, just that's not how you
Just
say it. And
Nico.
I'm like, sorry.
Just Nico. Uh-oh,
Yeah.
Barbie wants everybody to have seatbelts on the bus.
Yes. Safety. Safety first.
Oh.
I wanted to ask you, Keela,
Yes.
your pain right now, is it like that bad? Because you look really, I mean, I just feeling for you. I have like empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
Okay, so
I'm here
I
for
don't know
you,
how to
girl.
explain it because for 14 years I had a pain that there's not very many people that could actually live with day in and day out every day of their life for 14 years. And it was the nerve that went right down my spine, right down here, right to the side, and then across my bra line to the right under my arm right here. Okay, I lived with that for 14 years. When I had surgery and I woke up and that pain was gone, it was the most miraculous thing that has ever happened in my life. I mean, you don't even realize what that pain does to your own body. Like,
No.
Yeah.
I mean, like the trauma that it puts on your body just for being in pain and not being able to take pain medication. I mean, I had to use what I could use, the anti-inflammatories. I have one kidney, not too great for that,
No.
but that's all I could take.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's fine, right? And so this started back. They DC'd my physical therapy because 9 months you're supposed to be healed from it. So I
Yeah.
went my whole 9 months and then 10 months, then 11 months. And this is what we were actually working on because my range of motion this way was just not where he wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And this big ganglia muscle grouped up here, we could never get it down. Well, something else has happened because when I did with my doctor, my neurosurgeon, Tuesday, he said, Keela, we fixed that. It's C5, C6. And I mean, I have x-rays to prove it. It's fused. I mean, it's got the hardware in it and everything, but the pain is down my neck, big old knot here. And now I can trace it. I can touch my skin and tell you exactly where it's at right there. Goes
And does it
right
go
on
around your elbow
it goes around my
and down
elbow,
your arm?
under the underarm, into my thumb. I cannot use this thumb.
That exactly. I actually am having similar problems, which is why I asked because I'm often in a similar position to you
C5,
physically.
C6 is what he said. And you know that he said, we fixed that. So what's the problem? I said, I don't know. You tell me, you're the doctor.
It could be still something similar somehow that nerve
C6,
got
C7
tweaked
needs
again.
it. I didn't feel comfortable with him doing anything above C3. So, but I mean, my C2 down is bad, but, and I asked him what caused that, and he said, being old, an old spine. I'm like, thanks a lot, dude.
You know,
But he's
it's
so
Or I
great,
mean,
though.
if you think though, like
Yes, my screws are loose, I believe.
but I mean, look at all the trauma and weight
We're
and speed that EMTs have to have when they're helping people.
healed our bodies.
yeah.
And
Not every,
if
I
you
don't do
could
the,
sustain damage from that or other trauma, and then it's like, okay, if you're living with it for 14 years and they're not paying attention to you, then you're like, okay, well, I still have to work. I'm not going to just
yeah.
like give up my passion and my job for this, So I really feel
Misha.
for you on that.
But I'm
My
glad you
anxiety
came
levels
back.
go up a lot when I'm in pain, Barbie. A lot. Like that's one thing I'm not able to take control of right now because this is a whole new environment for me. I'm used to chronic pain. Waking up, I know
Yeah.
it's there. I know when I go to sleep, it's going to be there. I know when that was a repetitious, constant thing. This right here is a
New.
brand new one, and I
And that's-
cannot I can't use my left arm or hand, and I used to could use it.
Are you left-handed?
I'm right-handed, but I mean, just
Okay,
do you
but
realize how
still.
much stuff you do with your other hand?
Only having one when you're used to two functioning arms is
And I can't use my thumb at all. I mean, like I can't open anything. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
useless. And I wasn't
I'm
like that
yeah.
before.
I'm
So
going
yeah,
through a lot of manual physical therapy.
hey,
for
well, they
my,
cut off my physical therapy, but they're fixing to start it back up
That's what I was saying. That I
tomorrow.
was thinking when you sent that, that's not okay. Like you need to consult with your physical therapist and with your neurosurgeon.
Yeah, they got together. Yeah, he ordered it
Good, because I mean,
just to get the imaging done. I got X-rays
everybody
Friday.
takes a different amount of time to heal, and insurance companies don't care about that, and that is just
Unfortunately,
so sad.
insurance companies don't care about anything, and I'm so sick of it. It's a battle I fight every day.
Oh
Not
yeah.
for me, for
Let
my
me grab you
residents,
the
for my
link.
patients. For my
Yeah.
patients.
So you know both sides of it.
Yeah, and now I get really mad because hang on, wait.
I'm just dropping the
Oh,
link
my
for Nico.
anxiety is through the roof, Barbie. I can't even tell you.
I don't get anxious anymore. I get pissed off. The more
I
pain
think
I'm
that's
in, the madder I get.
that's
I'm
why
with
I had
you
thank you,
there,
Ed.
Indigo.
No, but that's why I think
get
I had
angry.
to I think that's why I had to take a step back on my own and take a breath and realize, wait a minute. You deal with this every day for your residents. You're very patient. You could talk. I mean, I could talk an insurance company into giving them a lake house. I can't even get an MRI that's going to be paid for that should have no copays. Now I've got to get the money to pay that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I remember
Because the
when
insurance.
I remember getting this better insurance when I got the current job I have versus the one I had before. And I looked at what everything would have cost without insurance, and I'd be like in debt for like 30 years. Like
Oh,
Yeah.
my surgery was thousands of dollars, not to mention the scans and the blood tests and
yeah.
all the stuff I had to pay for before my deductible worked out.
Well, I guess that is the deductible because 156 is what I think I have to pay.
Welcome, Nico YEG. Nice to
Hey,
meet you.
Nico.
Just
Hey,
knows my hair is
Nico.
doing crazy things there, but whatever.
How are
Yeah.
you?
Oh yeah, I guess for the
It's been a good day.
I'm
Good.
glad.
That's great. We
Yeah.
could use
Had a
that.
good day. Had a good day walking with my kids along the river valley and doing some thrifting and had
Oh,
some good lunch and saw some friends and yeah,
that's
great.
now
awesome.
it's bedtime, starting to be
Late,
bedtime for all the kids and me time.
Yeah.
right?
Put the little cute children to sleep and have some alone
Exactly.
time. My sister has 4 kids, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My
Yeah,
I
my
oldest
guess you
three.
can say
God, my
that.
oldest nephew is 11 on December 1st. I'm like, not allowed.
Mm.
Where did
Oh,
11
my oldest
years
just
go?
turned
Oh
13.
my gosh. I told my sister, oh my God, he's like 4 years away from driving. And she's like, don't
Mandy,
say
thank
that
you.
to me.
Um,
That's a
I know,
scary
I think
thought,
about
isn't
that
it?
stuff
2
a
years
lot.
for the
Yeah.
driving test. I don't
Yeah.
know if you're in the US or not, but
No, Canada.
Canada. Okay.
Alberta.
I don't know what age driving starts
I
for you
think
guys.
Alberta was weird because they used to have like a younger age than everywhere else that you could start, but I'm not sure how it's changed since coming here, honestly.
yeah,
I remember when my
Yeah.
go ahead.
Mandy's keeping us on. Hey, West Coast Fancy Nancy. Hey, how are
Hey,
you?
Nancy. But I was gonna say real
Yeah, I
quick,
totally can. I can get off. No worries.
well, I had something that Blake said. I would just because you said that you have autism, so he was saying that he gets
Okay.
more anxious because
Mhm.
it like
Oh yeah, I saw it
Yes.
where he was. Yes.
And
yeah.
then, for me at least, that can translate into needing more control, which can translate into not me intentionally manipulating people, but people feeling like they should try to appease me in order for things to calm down, which I try to tell them, please, just tell me. like
Mhm.
what's going on. Like I'm self-aware. I don't want to make you feel bad because I'm in pain. But the
Mhm.
anxiety really does lead to this level of I need some control over whatever I can control, because if I can't control this pain and I can't,
You've got to be able to control
it
something.
overloads. Like it
It
like
does.
my autism,
That's the
like
truth.
coping skills just
Mhm.
That, yeah, you
disappear.
can't remember it. So what I used
And
to do, what I would do is, because it's so much easier to remember the 333 than it is the 7. I mean, it's somewhere in my brain it's going to have to stop. And I like how Ben explains it so well. If you can at least stop yourself from focusing on that and start doing math, it takes that part of your brain and it start counting. It takes that part of your brain that is controlling the hurt and the anxiety and the fear, and you're use the other part of your brain because you're being analytical with it, and you're gonna. So if you just start counting backwards by 7 or just something to
yeah,
get that
that's a
break.
really good idea to kind of flip that switch. Yeah, that's really smart. I'll write that down on
That was
I
Ben.
literally
Yeah,
carry a note card for times like that that
that,
has
and
Yeah,
when
I
you
have a
things.
note card in my wallet that
yeah.
has on one side it's just like, I don't know, if I'm in another accident or something and they need to like call my doctor or some crap. But the other side has like this unaliving hotline, my
Mhm.
psychiatrist, my therapist, and then
That's great.
one other person, either like my dad, who's my medical contact, or another person in my life that I've asked, like, if I'm in a crisis, can I call you? And it reminds me, like, take a minute, like, breathe, kind of like, because I have to stop and read the card, right?
Yeah, you're getting your mind off of the
Mhm,
issue at hand. Yes.
exactly.
Anything to take that mind off of what, is right there.
And that
Wait, what's
distraction, that is
it?
how I ended up getting off. I can tell you more another time, but I was on extreme amounts of pain medication at a very young age, and that distraction ended up helping me break the cycle to be able to
Right.
find out what I actually needed versus what they were just throwing at me, and it was making me sick and causing everything to
Yeah.
be worse. It's part of the reason I almost died. So it was just kind of this like, once I learned that in rehabilitation therapy
Mm.
at the children's hospital, like 3.5 months of it, once I finally like got that going, it was just a whole nother ball game. So that is really, it's a great thing. I love to use music for distraction. So I could put on my favorite song and I just start dancing and I'm not thinking about
Yes.
that anymore. Or
Music
at
is
least,
the cure of everything for me.
so it just, yeah. So I think that just that, put on your favorite song, think of something calming, look at a picture of your dog, just something
Oh,
to kind of,
right there, Katie said, let it in for 3 seconds, let it out for 6, and slowly at its second, always double the breathing out. That's part of the mindfulness. Absolutely, it is.
yeah. So I also found like the Calm app to be really helpful in the beginning, until I basically figured out how to do it on my own. So that was like in the moment with my autism problems and
Not my bad
having
arm.
pain and
My
anxiety. It just kind of
semicolon.
finally,
Oh, I have a mental health tattoo too. I don't know if it's gonna show
That's my
up.
the semicolon project
Yeah.
at the
yeah, I
end of
heard
my
about
music.
that.
I'm mirrored. I can't tell if I'm putting my wrist in
I
the
know that's mine. I can't go upside down with it, but
yeah.
yeah,
That's
it's a treble
cool.
clef with the semicolon
Yeah,
project.
I saw that.
Yeah,
My sister has one of those too.
It's gonna
music is
see if
definitely my therapy.
I'm like try to see if I can
I know it's hard to get it right.
I have to put it back. There we go.
But yeah, so that's how I do it. And Nico, nice to meet you, and I'm glad you're having
Me too.
a pretty good day. But
Yeah,
I'll
no.
let you guys go and chat. And
Tamber, please look, our email's always on. It's not in the description on this one because I really tried to type with
oh
one
yeah,
hand,
there's I
but
think they're
it's
gonna
on
have
all of. It's on. There you go.
yeah.
It helps that I'm
So,
a
Yeah.
mod.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, and I'll stay on so I can watch you guys talk. But
West
yeah.
Coast Fancy Nancy,
Yeah.
what's going on with you, sweetheart? I gotta look
Awesome.
and see.
Bye
Hang on.
guys. I'll see you
Thank
in the
you,
chat.
Tamber.
A
Thank
new
you.
Of
therapist
course.
and My recommendation is usually you can
Yeah,
like, so for example, I'm through United Healthcare for my
me too.
medical. So I can go on their website and either search like new doctors for a specific thing, or I could search like for my doctor. Like,
Hey.
so if I had a doctor I wanted to stay with, I could go to United Healthcare's website and see if they cover them. Um,
I just
yeah.
did that with my physical therapy.
And especially with therapists, like, I know it can be discouraging for a lot of people because I will say over the years I've had 5 different therapists. This is not my psychiatrist. Like, I have one of those for the
Yeah.
medication, but over the time I like tried going the traditional route, which was call a place, wait for 6 months, get matched with a person. That didn't work
Mhm.
out because they told me to stay in the closet, and I was like, "You need to get a new job."
You think?
Yeah, they're like, "I
Please
don't
tell me
think."
who.
Awful.
I
They
was
don't
saying
need
it's
to be
gonna be
working
so
here.
I was like, it's they were not clearly not LGBT.
No, they clearly shouldn't even be
Mhm.
working in this field, period. But
But
that's just my
basically
opinion.
I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be so stressful because I have to come out to like my family and whatever." And my sister's in-laws are like super okay, they're not like fascist, but they're like super conservative. And so she was like, "Well, if it's gonna be a problem, why don't you just not do it?" And I was like, "Because I
Um,
have a girlfriend, and they keep asking
wait,
me if I can bring my partner to Thanksgiving dinner, and I haven't come out to them yet. That's freaking why."
West Coast. Hey,
That was
I got,
really funny. But I'll say
I
what
got something for you
my friend said is a therapist is giving
right there.
you a service,
That's
and
for West Coast Fancy Nancy. That's who I use.
yeah,
And it's all telemed.
and also Nancy, West Coast Fancy Nancy. Also, if you need it for a specific reason, if you go through the website for your insurance, usually with
Wellcore. I
therapy,
put
you
it
can
there.
actually select like I need someone who's LGBT oriented and I'm looking for like trauma therapy or whatever. And then
Yes.
they'll filter your options to call, and you kind of have to find someone who's taking a new patient as well, because not all doctors take new patients all the time, but they'll be
Yeah.
listed as covered by your insurance. So you might be able to like get on a wait list or like
Yeah.
find
And
a better match.
yeah. And hey, West Coast, I'm going to tell you this too. The Wellcore, I love it because, and do you know that I did just what Indigo's talking about? I did exactly that. What you do is go through like I know on Wellcore. I'm gonna drop the link. Let me find it real quick. I went through, they are everywhere, and you answer those questions like what you're coming there for, and they do match you. And I've never changed therapists once. They match me perfect,
Yeah.
perfect.
And that's the thing too, is not every therapist you match with is gonna be
But they
trained
will change you.
in the thing you need. So like for example, I dropped that one therapist and then found an LGBT centered therapist who is also trauma informed, and she was like, "Oh, you're LGBT but also have PTSD." And I was like, "Oh my gosh," because like when you have conditions that are misdiagnosed or not diagnosed at all, sometimes they won't consider a level of medication to give you until you have a diagnosis. So talk therapists can say, "I think you have this. You might have to go to your general doctor for more backup." Because like sometimes if you go to your general doctor and you're like, "My talk therapist says I have PTSD, but I also have depression," then they'll be like, "Okay, I recommend you go to a psychiatrist." And usually if your doctor's aware of the insurance that you have, they will try to say or recommend a doctor that's within your
Mm-hmm.
insurance policy, like because the hospitals and stuff have to be listed in these programs, so they're going to be more knowledgeable about specialists. But yeah,
That's
Hopefully
it.
that was
That one right there.
helpful.
That is now. I don't promise anything about like insurance, who they see, anything like that. But I promise you that I see her 3 times a week, 4 or 5 if I need to. She calls me every day when I'm going through something like I'm going through right now, because CPTSD. I had this. I still have, but try doing better on the anxiety, but a massive anxiety disorder, and the fact that she noticed that before anybody my whole life about the CPTSD, and she lives like an hour and a half from me, but they're all over the place, and it's so neat to know. Well, somebody beat me to that. I was trying to get there, but yeah, it is really, they put you with who you need to see, not with who they want you to. They match you up, and if you don't like them, you can move.
Yeah. I know here, mental health is not easy to access. Um, they've just started having like a central place that people can go to, like within the past couple of years here. Otherwise, it was very like scattered here and there around the city. Um, I found it really hard to go to therapy because of my financial situation. Um, there is
And that is
there is drop in, and there is some people who do sliding scales, but not. I have been able to find somebody that I can actually talk with about actual trauma and stuff like that.
so.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nico, let me tell you this. That the
Mhm.
reason that I know you've heard me say it, the reason that I wanted to start this channel,
Mhm.
because of your story right there. You are the example of the person I started this channel for. We may not be able to give medical advice, but we sure the hell can give peer support.
Yep. That's something I found in this community within the past year of being here to be really helpful, is the peer support, hearing everybody's stories, how they've uh, like grown from certain situations. I find that really, really helpful
Thank you.
to kind of digest in my own story and like kind of figure things out. I've also started meditating this past year, which has been really helpful, like some guided meditations.
Yes, I do
Did you
too.
say
Yeah,
guided?
I have to
yeah,
use guided also.
Okay, sorry, I missed the word for a minute.
yeah, that's okay. The actual ones I'm using are from the Gateway Institute, Bob Monroe, kind of on the woo side, expand your consciousness kind of ones. But
Yeah.
I found them really, really like calming, like centering. I've had lots of problems with dissociation my whole life. So
I
That
I
it's
is
been
relate,
really helpful
not
and
trauma,
helping
not
me.
for
trauma,
my whole
trauma.
not for my whole
Yep.
life, but since my 20s,
That
I
is
can
so
relate to that.
trauma.
Hmm.
Something
I
I've
used to
noticed
dissociate in books.
since working through
Yes, Canberra, I
therapy.
just met it. I actually just um added her to the Facebook, but Awaken. Misha, Misha, I have been asking victims assistance for last year and a half to receive help getting therapy because it's part of, yeah, they are supposed to do that.
Yeah, and also
So
too,
can I give you a piece of advice that you probably already heard a million times, but I just have to say this when I read something like this?
Mhm.
Don't stop asking till you get the answer you need. So call somebody else and keep calling until somebody hears you.
and here's the thing too.
Advocate.
A lot of people don't know this, but like work insurances, like that you get through your job, often will have a program where you can get at least 6 like free sessions. And the
Mhm.
problem with most
Oh,
insurances is
shit. No,
they
they used to put
expect you my one therapist told me this. She's like, they expect you to be able to diagnose someone in 6 sessions. So I'm just going to say that you have PTSD. I'm fairly certain you do, but I need way more than 6 sessions to actually figure out like what kind is it, like,
Mhm.
because symptoms can cross over and like so many things can be misconstrued for other conditions. Like it's
You're right.
crazy to me that they mix up schizophrenia and what is it? BPD? like get
Yeah.
Okay,
swapped
so
so
yeah,
often.
I know that's why I was like, okay, on the Facebook group, I was like, we gotta define BPD here because some
Oh
people
yeah,
think
I
it's one
forgot.
thing.
Yeah, but like you know what I mean. Like, and then you were saying like there wasn't a central place for you guys to like access this stuff
And that's
for
why
the
I was,
longest time. So it's like you have to get someone to listen to you. You have to advocate for
Yeah.
yourself. You honestly, you have to not shut up. You have to make them
Yeah,
so
honestly.
uncomfortable with what you're going through that they're like, I'm sick of seeing you. Fine. What do I need to do to get rid of you? Because that's luckily my new doctors, like only 2 of them are men, but it's just how it ended up. Like my endocrinologist is a dude and my psychiatrist is a dude, but most of my other doctors have been female. And they're also not white.
Miss Shadow.
And I've noticed like a big difference with younger, not white female doctors or like just not old men in their 60s basically, is that they're like, okay, what can I do for you? That's what my doctor asked me. She's like, what do you need me to do for you? And I just cried. And she's like, no one's ever asked you that before, have they? And I'm like,
That's
no.
so funny. My doctor does the same thing. That's what she does when she comes over. Because they have that, they come to your home. Man, my friend Garrett, he started his company in 2018, right? We were his first facility right before COVID hit. His is blown up so big that I don't even know the number of nurse practitioners he has working for him because they go to everybody's homes, not just home health. That's where you
also,
do your medical.
like,
They send X-rays, ultrasound, everything here.
I will ask, like, do other people in your life know like what you struggle with, Nico? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry,
you're
I
good.
was just talking to my child. What was
Oh
that?
no, you're good. I was saying, like, do you find that like there's people in your life that you can be open with what you're experiencing so that you don't have to like come up with like a cover
Yeah.
story for like
Yeah,
I was saying
absolutely.
earlier with Mandy, like before I was believed that I had nerve damage, I would just wake up in so much pain I couldn't get out of bed, and I would cancel on a friend and every time I canceled it was on the same friend. And looking back, I'm like,
Oh,
I had no
man.
idea that was happening because I was in so much brain fog and so much pain. And she was like, are we even friends anymore? Do you even like
Oh,
want to be around me? And I was like, I do. Here's all the, the unimaginable pain I'm in. And she's like, oh, you could have just said that from the beginning. And I'm like, but we don't know who in our life is going to be like receptive and understanding to that information. But like, yeah, you said you have people who are, so it's like, then
I
they
have
can
a
help
few.
advocate.
Yeah, one of my friends, she suffers from a lot of like similar things to me. Like she has fibro, I have Ehlers-Danlos, um, she has BPD, I have ADHD and lots of trauma, so we get along really well.
Yeah.
She's one friend that we can be very real with each other and like say very real things and not have to worry about someone taking it a weird way and say the dark things to each other that we can't really say to other people.
Oh, I joke about stuff all the
Yeah.
time. Like,
Oh,
okay, so
Amber, you too. Another bendy.
Oh, okay. Aria, thank you so much for being here.
thank you, Aria. Love you. Good luck with
We're here. We're here.
everything. But I was gonna say too, I think like that's the thing is I just started being open with people, like especially after my bad ex and that ended in assault and all that stuff. And people would ask me for months after that, how are you? I'm like, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, my 4-year relationship with a narcissistic abuser ended. I got assaulted. I had to move out of a store I liked to a different store. But I'm here at your bonfire because if I just sit at home alone at my parents' house, living in their living room, I'm just going to be like depressed. But when I was like just that blunt with it, I told people, I'm like, I don't need you to like, because I would see it on their face. I'm like, don't say anything. You asked how I am, and I honestly told you it sucks. I don't want placation. I don't want time will heal it. I don't want any of the crap that people
No.
normally say, but I'm just saying you asked, and my honest answer is right now it sucks. You don't need to give any advice or comfort. That's just how it is. So
Yeah.
but now
Man,
that
Yeah.
Indigo,
Yeah.
you are sounding
I
like
had
one of our friends the other night. I love
yeah.
it.
I had kind of a little bit of a similar experience. I won't go into detail about that right now, but 13
Misha,
years,
check your
and I've
messenger.
been out for what is it, 7 now. And now, just in the past year or two, I felt like I've gotten out of survival mode into actually growing and
Right.
changing mode, which has been really, really awesome because I did have a very low point about 2 years ago.
I'm
That's
so happy to hear that.
yeah.
Like getting to that point of feeling like you're not just surviving.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you
it's
can thrive or like
amazing. Hmm. Yeah, I have my kids and I have my snaky pet.
you
It's a
have
little twin
danger
snake.
noodles.
Yeah, well, she's not danger. She's like
No, that's what I
derp
call all
noodle.
snakes. Like,
Oh yeah. I'm used to like the snake groups where danger noodles are the venomous kind.
yeah. Okay, you have a noodle.
I have a noodle.
I love snakes so much.
Yeah.
I can't
See,
stand toxic
she's hiding
positivity.
right
Yes,
now.
because if you,
Hi, baby.
the thing about toxic positivity, Blake, thank you for bringing that up. It devalues the struggle that someone is going through.
Yes.
But I found
Mhm.
that when someone like, when Aria opens up about stuff or when someone goes through something
Hi,
like
baby.
the loss of a child, and I'm not a parent, but I can understand deep crushing loss, right?
She's my little girl.
Oh, look at her. Oh, look her little tongue.
She's such a cutie.
She is.
Hi, baby. Yeah,
She's
she's
like,
hiding
bye,
right now,
please
though.
leave me alone.
Yep.
But
I'm
yeah, so
leaving
like
now.
I think nope ropes. I love that. But I was gonna say like the toxic positivity thing is every emotion
Mhm.
serves a purpose. If you're angry, that anger is saying that something's wrong that you should look at because you're not being treated right. Or when you go through hard stuff and people say, oh, it gets better, it's like, well, what if I don't want to be better in this moment? What if I want to be angry and cry and throw an axe at the wall and just, feel my feelings?
You're allowed to feel your
Yeah.
feels.
Exactly.
Yep.
And, I'm an optimistic person, but I also have seen the damage I did to myself by ignoring my emotions. Like when my birth mom died, I disassociated her funeral. Like I literally don't remember most of that weekend at all. And I got super depressed, and people would be like, how are you? I'm like, well, I don't know. My birth mom just died. How do you think I am? you know? Yeah. So I just
Yep.
try to sit with people and be like, you know what? Your situation does suck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Misha,
that's
Or
check your messenger, please, if you can.
yeah, that also happened to me right before my marriage ended. My mom passed away a few months before that, and
oh my gosh,
it
a
was a
double
really rough
whammy.
time. Hmm. And she was the one that caused most of my abandonment trauma and other traumas.
Katie, yes.
So
Oh man,
yeah, and
complicated.
I didn't get to say goodbye to her. Well, I did have like one last really good time with her, but I didn't actually get there before she passed to say goodbye, which was it really sucked. I was driving to go see her, and I had a panic attack at the time that it happened. But
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
I
know
didn't
that
find out for
feeling.
a few more hours.
My parents tried to protect me from how my birth father looked when he died because he was in hospice and stuff. And I
Yeah.
was like, I wish you guys hadn't tried to protect me and let me say goodbye because nobody bothered to include me to be able to go release his ashes either. So basically, he died. And then people were like, I guess his literal daughter doesn't matter. And we're just going to do everything without including you. And I was like, he's my literal dad, though. So like I think that messed me up. That's probably what messes up like if I'm not able to say goodbye or when you have those
Hmm.
moments where it's like we're going to have a remembrance thing. Like I always joke that I want to put in my will like whatever money's left, throw a party. Like cremate me, make me into a diamond, give me to somebody
Hey,
awkwardly and
Amina.
then like throw a party.
That does sound lovely.
Yeah. It's
I
okay,
saw that they
Gamera.
sell coffee cans specifically for urns. I
Oh,
kind of like that idea. 'Cause
that's
it's cute.
hilarious and also problematic. Like if you don't tell people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you imagine being like, oh, I'm making
It's
coffee. Oh shoot.
probably the new request.
But yeah, like I think it's important too. Like I think a lot of people don't talk about the joy of things. Like I think that's the part that messed me up the most about grief or going through this medical stuff is I would feel guilty for feeling joy because it's like, oh, I just lost someone important to me, and yet here I am laughing and like living my best life. Shouldn't I be like more
But
sad?
that you should be. No, that's in my opinion. I agree. Like y'all know that what's coming. The 29th, it's going to be it's like the suckiest day in the world. You know, one of the few that are really sucky. But that day, yes, it'll always be with me, and it'll always be full of pain and suffering and loss, the greatest loss I think I've ever had. But also, life goes on, and you have to live for them.
And what I tell
Because
people is like talk about
happens.
them. Like the
Yeah,
US,
like talk about them like I'm here.
the US sucks for like continued grieving. Like it's almost like, oh, you went to a funeral for one day, so you should be better now. Like,
Well, it's also
no,
that we don't talk about it enough. Like
or
death
the
isn't a
person,
subject
like
that we
talk about
approach
what they
with
were like when they
comfort.
were alive, like what they liked, what they cooked. Just, you know, one of my friends lost her sister really traumatically, and oh my gosh, that is so hard, Paige. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. That's what it was like for my birth mom too. Being adopted is hard because there's like all of this. I've been reading more books about psychologists who studied adopted people and stuff, and they said even if you're adopted by family and you know that they love you, there's still this feeling of not fitting. And I can totally see that. Like my sister is my parents' kid, like not just biologically, but like she thinks like my dad. She has some of the same OCD issues that my dad has, things I don't have. And so I would like compare myself to her all the time, being like, if I could just be her, I would just fit here better because I would seem like my parents. Because I think that's the other thing is like, it's so complicated to go through that feeling of like, I knew my story, I was lucky, but a lot of adopted kids don't get the chance to meet their birth parents. They don't get that chance to like know their story. And I think, you know, that's something I envy with people who grew up with their parents. Even, this is going to sound terrible, but I don't have another, even people with crappy parents. I'm like, at least you know your real parents were crappy. You know?
I get that though. I get that.
Yeah.
No,
like,
we want you to promote your page. How many y'all? We're gonna have to put a bulletin up here.
We do for Misha.
Anyone that has their channel, please put it in the chat and let the mods grab it. And Red's back here, and she will put the link to it.
Yes, and we have a
we're all
background
about
document
supporting
where
everybody.
we're putting channel links so that we could like boost you guys to like.
Yes.
Once you're part of the fold, we support you basically.
Yeah, I mean, look, we wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for someone supporting me to get here. This channel was going to not exist, and I'm so grateful.
But I want to also bring up. I think Misha also said that they're willing to.
I know. I'm trying to get her messages, and I can't get her text or her Facebook Messenger. I don't know if I'm on the right one or not.
No, you're good. I was just saying she was also saying like she's willing to help out when you're not here and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And her whole thing is, I'm just gonna bring this up really quick.
I need her Facebook.
Like if we're a village, we have to help support each other, right? Like I wouldn't be here if I was doing things alone. I know because when I tried to delete myself. So I know that like the people who stay with you when you experience things they don't understand, like I will never get what it's like to like lose a spouse because I've never been married, but I
No,
understand like
got a channel. I
the
need her Facebook Messenger.
the
Email it to me, Misha.
like that crushing weight that you can't breathe, like you don't know if you can like go on the next day. Like I know that feeling, and I think it's important like
Mhm.
that we're relating as people because we're so
Yep.
diverse. Like even another person with Ehlers isn't gonna have the same experience that someone else does, but you can
Yeah.
relate. And I think that's the important connections we're making here is it's nice to be around people you don't have to explain it to. Like I'm sick of explaining what chronic pain is to people. I'm like, Google it.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
lot.
just like Mandy was saying, like how it feels for me, it feels like if I could just get a new spine, I would be fine. Like if I could just do a spinal transplant and a transplant of my like nervous system,
Oh,
Yeah,
you know.
that makes sense.
Sometimes I have this tactic in my brain where I'm like, any part of my body that hurts too much, I just ignore it. So, like, if my left foot's hurting, I'm like, there's nothing below my left knee. Like, nothing there exists. And I kind of cut the thought off so I can't feel it anymore because I feel it
Mhm.
every day, right? It's like, I don't know, take the worst feeling you've ever felt, and that's it 24/7. And then,
Yeah,
but you have to get
and
up and you have to go to work for 8
still have to do
hours and you have to take
things.
care of
Yep.
your kids and you have to cook dinner and you have to be a person on
Mhm.
top of that pain all the time.
mhm.
Yeah. Sometimes I start getting really like cranky and grumpy before I realize that I'm in pain. And I'm
Thank
just
you.
like, why am I so angry? And I'm like, oh, I probably am hurting and not really realizing it right now.
Yeah. Or someone goes, wait,
It's
you have
weird.
chronic pain, but you have tattoos. I'm like, yeah, but my tattoo artist knows I can only sit for like 2.5 to 3 hours. So it's going to take me like 900 years to finish my full sleeve because I can't sit longer than that. Like my nerves won't let me. Like one time
Okay.
she did work on my arm and she was like, I'm like, I could go longer. She
I
looked at my
love
face
you
and she was like,
too.
you cannot.
Yeah.
I'm actually curious to see how long I could go because I've never been ready to tap out on any of my tattoos. Like none of them are really big. They're on my arms. I got this one. This is my first one actually. This is my
Oh, that's
pride
beautiful.
and freedom tattoo.
I love it.
Polyamory and pride. And
Girl,
this one
say,
is,
wait, are you,
yeah,
what pronouns do you use?
she, they.
Okay, because I was going to be like, girl, that's an awesome tattoo. And I'm like, wait, do you use girl? I use girl like for everyone. That's my problem.
Sometimes I accidentally say that to my eldest child too. I'll accidentally say girl, and I'm like, shit, no, not girl. Right? Probably annoying.
But yeah, that's the
Just
other
a,
thing too, is like there's so many good people who come here and it's nice to see that okay, well, okay, how to say this. I'm glad we can relate, but I'm not glad that what we relate on. Like if
yeah,
we could just not have
I get
chronic
that.
pain or not have SA trauma and just still know each other and still relate, but it's
Yeah,
also nice. I have
yeah.
a 4-inch dragonfly on top of your foot?
Ooh,
Girl, that's a
I
painful
have a little
spot.
dragonfly.
Oh, cute.
I also
Dude, I
have a
wanted a
little.
complicated foot tattoo, and then I was like, maybe I don't.
I have this one, and it's all kind of like crappily done. It's a little bit blown out and a little bit sparse in spots, but it says only human, so I'm really undecided about getting it fixed.
Because
Because it's
humans
like,
are flawed.
exactly. And then I have this cutie.
I mean, on your foot, girl, you're braver than me.
I got this guy.
Oh, nice. Little ghosties.
It's a logo for like a ghost hunting YouTube channel, but I really
Oh,
liked
I
it. I thought
love
it was
it.
really
That's
cute.
adorable.
Yeah.
Yes. I also like ghost hunting.
Nice. Yee.
That's another thing too that's so interesting is like I think a lot of people like I'm understanding generational trauma in my family so much more when I research how like if my grandma had been able to get also they didn't know in 1920 what they know in 2024, but even if she was able to be like, I'm not mentally well, and someone was like, okay, let me just talk to you about it and get you help instead of just like throwing you in an asylum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think understanding, like, my grandma was afraid of having like the mental health issues my family has. She never talked
Mhm.
about it, never educated her kids about it. And then they had it come up. Like, my birth mother was on schizophrenia medication. My aunt had schizophrenia. And then my mom was sort of like the sibling everyone relied on. And so she can't even touch the idea that she might have mental illness.
Mhm.
But from the outside, I'm like, please go to a therapist. Like, not just being
Dragonfly.
her daughter, but knowing some of the stuff she's been through. I'm like, I needed a therapist for that. Like, we share a similar experience from our 20s. And I was like, you need a therapist for that. Like, you can't just shove this down and, it's coming back up and you're 80 now. Like, so clearly you
Mhm.
can't keep it down forever. So, and I'm so
I'm
proud
only
of
38,
the men in our
39, and it's coming
community for like sharing their stories, because I feel like women, at least women, are listened to and then just patted on the head, but like men don't get that same approach of like just comfort and understanding. So I
Mhm.
do really appreciate like the men in our community that are coming more about their pain or their experiences and trusting us to like support them in that. Because I
Yep.
think there's this like feeling like I'm broken, like I can't have a relationship till I fix my mental health. Well, the mental health been there my whole life. So if I was like, I can't do X before Z, I would do nothing. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So yeah, I just
Yep.
appreciate them being vulnerable and like learning how to process.
Mhm. I really like that conversation with Dodge. That was
Thank
really
you.
good.
Yes.
He's so easy to talk to.
I really
That
like him.
man needs to reevaluate how cute he is. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
He's
I
like, no one
agree.
would
He is
date me. And I was
he is
like,
cuter than he believes. Way cuter than he believes.
you want to buy a bus and do van life? Call me. No, I'm kidding. I'll support your career if I could go on the road and not have to deal with my apartment
Yeah.
anymore. No, just kidding. But
I like men, but I've sworn off them for now.
my
Luckily, I'm
family's,
pretty gay, so.
yeah, my family's mental health problems really taught us all. Thank goodness we've learned so much
Mhm.
from our own research and doctors and friends and family. It's great to understand what happened or is happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, another thing in
Understanding a
adoption
lot.
that is
Absolutely.
fun, but not actually fun, is that a lot of people who aren't adopted by their biological families have no idea what their health history is, because prior
Mhm.
to 1998, I want to say,
Thank you.
unless a family member agreed to adopt their family member's child, it was like a forced closed adoption. There wasn't open adoptions that were allowed. And
Mhm.
that can be, I couldn't imagine going through what I did without the knowledge that it could happen to me. Like, if all of my family members seem healthy and then suddenly I get MS and there's like no way, or anything like
Yep.
postpartum depression is something women in my family deal with. Like, if I didn't know that and I just had a baby and then just went through that without knowing to expect it, I feel like it would be so much scarier.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Knowing your
Okay, so
family
the
history is
men's.
really important.
Well, we learned a lesson yesterday.
We did.
We learned a lesson
Friday.
yesterday. Friday. Yeah, look,
Yeah.
I've lost it. We learned a big lesson Friday. We need to listen. When a
Mhm.
man says he does not want to talk about it, don't push him. He
Yes.
doesn't truly want to talk about it.
Yes. Or just if they are saying the thing they're saying, it's pretty much straight up. There's no like subtext.
Yeah, that's right. There's no hidden meanings. We're not covert. They're not covert. They
Yeah.
say what they mean. They mean what they say. Not all men,
True.
just the ones that So yeah, I got schooled on that. Oh,
Do
did
we
I
have
ever?
a cutoff time, Keela? It's late, or wait, your central time,
Whatever
isn't it?
time. I'm fine. Whatever time.
Okay, just making sure because you know the pain and everything.
Oh, I'm fixing to go grab my meds. I was also going to come off stage and let.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, let's see if what else we got in back
you want to drop the link
here.
again?
Yeah, and there's
Yeah, I
a
want to
couple
say again.
star things I was gonna
Oh
pop
yeah,
up.
yeah. You can go to the start. The start. And just to let everybody know that Awakened will be on the show tomorrow. Don't know the time yet.
Nice. Yeah, you guys were talking about NDEs earlier, and my mom had an NDE that she told me about, actually a couple of them. And they were really interesting, but they were after overdoses at first.
That makes a lot of
Me
sense.
and
Just
my
the
brothers
shock
were
that
there
it
one time.
puts your body through and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I am actually really proud of her because she went from like a really traumatic childhood, where her dad did SA stuff and to her and others, but she wasn't believed. She actually went to court against him, and none of the family would stand behind her or would support her. So that kind of just fell through, and they like disconnected from her for a long time. But she turned her life around after that, and she went to school to become an EA, and she worked with autistic kids, and she got to help a lot of kids. Like it was like one-on-one through the school, and
Yeah.
so she found it like really, really fulfilling because she wasn't there for a lot of our childhoods because she was in rehab or off doing stuff and whatever. My dad had custody of us, but when she was helping her students, she was going through progressively like younger and younger kids, and helping them. So she kind of got to like heal a part of her with that, like,
Yeah.
and she was in such a great place, like emotionally and in her life before she passed. It was really unfortunate,
But I'm glad she reached that
yeah.
point and was able to
Mm-hmm.
reconnect before that, because I think that's
Absolutely.
a complicated thing about addiction.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Is that you want to help them, but sometimes
You can lead a horse to water. I always say
can't.
that you can't make them drink. You can lead the mental health. Someone with mental health issues to a psychiatrist. You can't make them take the medicine. The one good thing about my facility is you have the right to refuse your medication, but you do not have the right to refuse your medication and remain living there.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to go back really quick to the comment that she was making about advocating. This is why I was saying earlier, it's important to have someone else in your life who you can talk to about how difficult it is to go through these medical things, because it does get discouraging.
Tell me about it.
To know that you're not crazy, you are going through these things, no one's listening to you. And I do think it can feel like you're a different person because you're like, I'm stuck in this cycle, right? But I think the important thing is, if you're stuck in that cycle of self-advocating, you've already taken the most important step, which is admitting that you're making yourself a priority, and that priority isn't selfish, that it's worth kind
when
of going
an
through
airplane
that.
has to put the oxygen mask down, I know everybody's heard it before. Who do you put the mask on first?
Yourself, so that you can help someone else.
There you go. Same goes for everything.
Because if you can't
you're not-
breathe, like, you can't help other people.
That's right. If you can't help yourself,
absolutely.
But
you
to
can't help
know
it.
that difference, like, because we were talking earlier about, I think, Nico, you were saying you've always had pain your whole life.
Oh, wow.
I
went
didn't know.
up to 19, never getting sick, never being in excruciating pain. And then I
man.
hit like 2021 and it like triggered whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably the car
I had
accidents
I had
also,
I
the
had kind
trauma
of
from those.
mild problems through like childhood and adulthood, like just little things that I didn't really consider not normal until things started getting worse and worse after each baby I had.
Honey,
My things
none
would
of
get
us are
worse and
normal.
worse.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
Because
you,
right.
well,
only normals are sitting on the washer.
so with the
Yeah.
cognitive thing and the stress that your body's under when you're in constant pain, the thing is,
Hmm.
I've been learning more about women's hormones ever since I took my thyroid out, and it controls your hormones. And
I'm taking my
Mm.
thyroid
my
medicine
roommate,
now.
who's a saint, got me through being psychotic for 2 months. But anyway, but my point is, like, it's important to look into that science of it, because for me, I tend to shut the emotion down and deal with the logic, and that serves me to get through the crisis. And now, after a year, so like in the end of 2022, they're like, we have to operate thyroid cancer. And then they operated in February of 2023. And then I got a new position at my work. Everything went crazy. I was like under all this stress of like having to
Hmm.
meet these crazy deadlines at work. Like, when did I have time to feel my feelings?
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I was like, oh, the science of it is there's hormones in your body, and anything like a big shock trauma, having a baby, which is like a whole other ass human,
Right?
throws
Ehlers
those
Danlos
chemicals.
system and the hormone relaxin can play just havoc on your body because it loosens all the joints
Yeah.
and it makes already loose joints looser.
Yeah. But I was going to say too, like, if you think about it, so women already deal with hormone imbalance because we get periods, right?
I don't know. I
It's
had
a
mine out
game
when I
of
was
asking your
23. I don't have
doctor,
anything.
like, ask your doctor, what are my hormone levels? Like, once you understand how, cortisol and all these things work, it makes mental health makes so
Mhm.
much more sense. Like, depression's not just being sad. There's literally, like, for me at least, I have
Mhm.
severe depressive disorder, which
Me
means
too.
that it's a chemical imbalance in my
Oh,
brain.
Barbie, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna get off soon. We were just
Yeah, we're gonna get off soon.
we're
But
just
there was a couple
Mhm.
other things I
Oh, do
wanted.
you want to get them started?
Yeah, I'm trying to get through the start, but I was trying to see. I think we already discussed some of them, so I'm just gonna go
One thing I'm
through.
really grateful for this week, I got really good news. I've been waiting for about a year to see a gynecologist, and I finally can. I've been
Yay,
recently diagnosed with adenomyosis, which is kind of like endometriosis, but it's inside the walls of the uterus instead of outside.
Marie. You have a good
So,
night.
Oh man, that's painful.
so my appointment's in about 2 weeks, and I'm so excited because I just want to yeet.
Right? I'm getting
Hmm.
close to doing that. Just like, why do I need it there? I just wanted to say
Yeah.
paraeducators is so great, because that's another thing is I feel like people who are born as kids with mental health or physical health issues,
Mhm.
I feel like feel things more intensely. Like, the regulation is a lot more difficult. So I feel like it's great that there's people out there who, make it their
Oh,
job
you're
to kind
welcome,
of like
Lacey.
help them
Let me
and
know what time tomorrow.
do
Oh,
that stuff.
I was gonna say on the about the kids and the traumas, and I'm telling you, when the body keeps the score, or when the body says no, a caregiver's guide, Dr. Gabriel Mate. I'm telling y'all, you don't even have to listen to his book. Just watch one of his speeches on YouTube that he gives. It he's so great, a wealth of information, and he literally will tell you where pain and where all illnesses that you have. Oh, okay, I'll take all kind of issues that you have as an adult. Any sickness, yes, he is, Katie. Any sickness that you have as an adult can be traced back to the trauma or the environment that you were born and raised into in those formative days and months.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I was going to say, I meant to say this when they were here, but it's very common for people to have, because your brain does this thing when you experience trauma where it hides the worst of it, like so that you can get through what you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times people talk about like false memories. Like they'll have a memory and they'll have to check. Like I've been experiencing this where my sister's going to therapy and she remembered something from our childhood because I had asked her like, oh, did this thing happen with my cousin? And she was like, no, it definitely did. I remember threatening to punch him in the face over it. But the thing about false memories is it trades something that's comfortable for the bad thing that happened, because it's how you cope and how you move forward. And so it makes a lot of sense to me that especially kids tend to kind of link to a certain book or movie or
Yeah.
identity. So that's
Yeah.
very common with trauma survivors. And with adoption too, like the last part is if you don't know your story, like I'm very lucky I know my story and my birth mother stayed in my life. I'm very lucky for
Right.
that. But it's very common for adopted kids to be very aware from a young age that they don't look like their parents. There's a huge sense of your identity that comes from your parents. Whether or not people want to admit that, not just genetically, I mean, not just physically looking like them, but there's that feeling of belonging you get when you look at your family and you're like, yeah, we look like family, right? And so a lot of adopted kids will be hyper aware, especially kids from other countries like China or India will be painfully aware these are not my parents.
Especially
like they're white.
Raised in a white
right?
family.
Yeah, so that's actually pretty common for kids to kind of look like, oh, they said my mom was blonde with brown eyes. Is this blonde-haired, brown-eyed woman my mother? Like that's a very common thought process. And then, like Paige was saying, it's complicated. Yeah, I feel that way too about mine, Paige, as well. Oh, bye, Nico.
Nico, bye. What happened?
She popped off. I don't know. But yeah, and losing people is complicated too because you go through all this questioning phase. I feel like a lot of the time with like, who am I? How do these people who raised me? How did
You
I
savaged yourself,
reflect
Nico.
them? But hang on, I have to go. I've been trying to like unstar comments that we talk about so that we don't actually accidentally go over them more than one time. But I can't find the one I just put up. Who's gonna take it off again?
No, you'll probably put it up again.
Oh my gosh, Misha is so helpful. She says she's going to make a transcript for this video and try to put the tips in like a reference.
Great.
That would be really cool.
Okay, 8 p.m. Central. Y'all don't miss it tomorrow.
Yeah. The Barbie, because someone asked about, do you feel worse pain when you're anxious? And she said that her ADHD goes into overdrive if she has bad pain. To the anxiety.
Look, I can't even sit here. This is how bad it is. Like my legs are literally like restless leg syndrome. I mean,
my gosh,
it's bad.
I'm trying to go fast.
No. This is what my body does. Like it's so much pain that it's just like my legs are jumping. It's crazy. But I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm on here talking to y'all, distracting myself, or if I'm sitting over here doing. I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing they can do about it right now.
Yeah, and this is so true, Blake. Like the thing about insurance companies that makes things difficult is if you
It
end
is.
up in private care or public care, if you end up in like United Healthcare typically works with like mainline hospital systems, which means if you
That's what
get
I
a
know.
primary, like my primary doctor was through Northwestern, which is why I ended up with Northwestern Hospital.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to fight like hell to keep it because I have a medical team. That's the other
Right.
thing is there are times I pay more out of pocket for a doctor because our insurance will cover that doctor, like Keela was saying, that medication. And then suddenly they decide 2 years later it's too expensive or they don't want to cover that person anymore or that practice anymore. And it kind of puts you in a hard spot because it's so hard to trust doctors and be like vulnerable and open. And then to have to switch insurance, like, complicates things. That's why the doctor shopping thing makes me so angry because it's like
I'm gonna doctor shop until I find somebody that listens to me.
yeah, but like that term bothers me because what are we supposed to do if we get dropped from our insurance and have a new insurance plan and that plan doesn't cover our psychiatrist we had for 10 years?
That's exactly what I'm feeling right now. Like I mean, I'm fighting because they're changing United Healthcare over here in Texas to WellCore. I mean, not WellCore to WellMed, and they don't cover anything. I'm like, no, my policy is through United Healthcare. Well, yeah, but they run our billing and our approval, and I'm like, okay, there's too many hands in this of my
In this
case.
pot, yeah.
Yeah, and y'all are over here playing doctor, denying medication that I need. That's $1,600 a month that I cannot afford that. So yeah, I
That's
do
the
fight
thing,
with them.
guys. Like in America, it's such like they're crooks. They're taking things that people discovered like albuterol and epinephrine and insulin were discovered
Insulin.
by people, and they should have trademarked that discovery and said, we want it to be free. They wanted that to be a free medicine for people because people need it to survive.
Yeah, insulin does not cost anything to make. Why in the hell is Big Pharma, oh, just wait. I'm so after and against Big Pharma. I don't care. I do not care. I don't like them. I have to fight with them while they're sitting on warehouse. I'm going to get on a soapbox. While they're sitting on warehouses full. Warehouses full of this medication, and
Of
people are
life-saving.
dying every day because of it.
Life-saving medication that they could release. It could be more like because they have all this money to make it, they could make more the next year. They don't need to hoard this stuff. But then I think we were also talking about loss, and it looks like a lot of us also have religious trauma or religion related traumas that can make loss and grief confusing because it could be not as comforting to somebody with that trauma that because I believe in reincarnation, I don't really believe in heaven and hell. Also, I don't believe in hell. So for a long time, I questioned myself, like, if I believe that spirits go somewhere when we die, but I don't believe in punishment, eternal punishment. I just don't. But like that's why reincarnation is kind of what I believe in. But yeah, loss is also something that doesn't end, it just changes shape, which is a Keanu Reeves quote. Like it's a cycle. Like you said, anniversaries of hard losses are just difficult. And it's the holiday season. Not everybody's
Katie, I agree.
Happy on the holidays,
Retired Red's got it right. You know what? Everybody in this live chat right now has got it right. Retired Red, Awaken.
My Other's Keeper, hi.
My Other's Keeper's got it down to the T. Katie, yes.
Yeah, but and that's the scary thing when they're like, oh, we just want to dismantle like these accessible things to people and
Give it to us. I mean, I've got people that are taking medication at the insurance. You tell a psych patient, let me just ask this, okay? Okay, so you have a psych patient. I'm going to use one of my patients. She literally takes 17 medications, and there's not one under $700. Not one. What the hell would it hurt? Now, her insurance pays it. But what the hell would it hurt for the insurance, I mean, those manufacturers, the big pharmas, to come off some of that medicine because they're making a fortune off the ones that have insurance?
Yeah. Well, this is why, when people say like, oh, why don't people just get sober? Why don't people just do this? Because they can't afford it.
It's called, first of all, it's called self-medication, because if they
do you
got
know
sober, then
that-
they
no,
would
but I'm
have this
just saying,
same
like,
damn mental illness again because they can't medicate themselves. It's too
yeah,
much.
but on the flip side of that, it's like people, like, in order to become sober off of a lot of the drugs that are out there now, you need at least a couple months of 24/7 care in a facility where they can taper you off and they can give you the proper stuff to counteract withdrawals. I mean, that's why so many people get so messed up, is because they don't have the money to go pay these facilities. Why are these facilities like $6,000 to stay there? Why
Because
can't
it's simple.
they offer those at like
Look, Red's exactly. I'm just gonna
It's
put it
just
like this, then I'll
so
probably chase
frustrating.
everybody out of my chat if I say this, but I'm gonna say it. We only want to save the rich ones. We only want to save the ones that are going to be somebody. We're only going to save the ones that that we decide deserve it. Since when who died and made you God?
real. That
I
is
mean,
real,
that's
my
how I
other's
feel.
keeper. If people that in your life didn't have insurance, you wouldn't be able to afford your meds. I'm the same way. Like, I don't re-up my EpiPens till they go cloudy because I don't have the money.
EpiPens are nothing you should have to worry about ever. That medication should never be unavailable.
I agree. I'm right there with you, because if I eat a
Insulin should
scallop
never
or
be
I
unavailable.
eat something with lime in it, I could die. Like, that's how severe my allergy is. But yeah, and then it makes it so hard. Like, my sister, okay, if you want to be on a soapbox, my sister, my niece, is born with a rare genetic disorder where she was born deaf and she could go blind before she's 17. And my sister had to fight insurance to pay for her cochlear implants because they tried to say it was a cosmetic surgery.
Give me a break.
Seriously. And she's
Oh my
2
God.
now. So she got these implants when she was a baby, and they tried to be like, it's cosmetic. Cosmetic? She can't freaking hear without them. And she can't hit
Me
developmental.
too, Nico.
She can't develop properly without balance and all these things that these devices can give her.
Yeah, well, I think all of this is sorry. I think all of this is it's something I fight every day. I didn't get to see what DJ Nico put up there. I was so mad right now a while ago. I see red whenever I start talking about that. Because I'm tired of seeing people go without the medicine they need when there's
yeah.
warehouses full.
He
Maybe
was
it's
saying we
stupid
should
question.
do merch stuff with like, if we could figure out a way to do those like balls or whatever through the merch store.
I can, so through the Amazon, my Amazon store, I can. Like I'm an Amazon influencer, so I have my own page on Amazon, and I can connect it to.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, especially
Yeah.
like if we're able to like share different ones, or even like have a. I was even thinking like,
I have Fourth Wall. We have Fourth Wall. I just haven't gotten a lot of new stuff in there yet. I don't have time.
we can work on it. I'm sure we can brainstorm stuff. But I like that idea too, because like we're sharing our experiences and what works for us. And Misha wants to do the merch.
Misha, you can do some merch. I'm tired. Y'all, I did merch for the last 2 years.
Misha, email us at the oh yeah, by the way, everybody, I'm also helping kind of manage the email for the channel. So if you want to
Yes.
like contribute something, just send it to the Mental Health Matters email, and I'll be like getting with Keela and being like, okay, let's talk some stuff out before I'm
And
assuming you're
and
gonna
I
need the
also
procedure,
yeah, and
but
I also miss a lot. I don't miss the emails, but I miss a lot of the replies. Because it's the way that my Gmail is. I don't know if yours is set up like that, Indigo, but my chat, it's like a chat. It's not an
yeah,
individual.
you can change the settings so that it like condenses the. So basically, you can change the settings so that it puts all the replies into one email chain. So you can just open it once instead of having it like separate
That's what
messages.
okay, conversations. That's what I need to do because I don't like the way that I have mine even that yeah, see, and I get confused because there's like I have 40 wait, let's see. Here.
I cleaned some
43
out
43,843 on my personal Gmail.
on your personal Gmail. Well, I did not help with your personal Gmail, but I helped with the channel.
No, and
But it's
I
great because
created
like
that
there's so many people
Gmail,
with ideas and like
but
let me see about putting the Facebook link.
5,555 on Yahoo. No, that's 55,555 on Yahoo. And then, let's see, what's AOL?
I also do there's a lot of filters you can make to filter out spam and stuff, but I'm gonna
I don't know
pop
how
the
to use
Facebook
them.
link again really quick because we do have peer support in the Facebook group as
Yes.
well for just a reminder to the viewers. And I did put a poll up there to kind of see what people would be interested in seeing when I kind of help Keela in the future. So
The near future.
maybe I should
Okay.
just make an a video on YouTube about how to do email.
No, you could do. Hey, they found me. I'll never use this email again. Nope, I'm going to unhook it from everything.
Oh, what
Jeez,
happened?
Lord help me. Oh my Lord help me. This is what I just okay. I'm looking. Sorry, one-handed. Look what found my AOL address that I've not used in years. Hang on. I'm sorry, one-handed. Look.
Oh, you're good.
OMG. Hang on, let me get it up.
What?
Yes, and it's
No.
full. Again, Blake, yes, it's full.
No.
Oh my God, y'all. Just one time.
And that's the thing is like anybody who has a channel where you're trying to grow it or you want help with it or anything, like put links in the chats and we'll grab them and put them in at least a referenced document the mods can see, and so that we can put it in chats in the future. Because like our goal is to support each other as well as much as you support the channel. And on that note, we should probably end the chat because it is
Misha's got something
11
for me to
o'clock.
Yeah, Misha wants me to show you something. Okay, this is how I feel most of the time. Barb said something about the hamster a few minutes ago. I can relate the if my phone showed it. Let's see if it'll show it.
Yes.
Wait, there we go.
Oh, just flew right off. Yeah. That's how it feels inside my head. I relate.
Yeah, this is on you. This is on TikTok too, by the way. My roommate sits there and watches them all night long.
And just as a reminder for the channel, because I know we say it at the beginning, but I want to say it at the end too. On our channel, if you use the words red light, even if you don't put any like actual sentence and that's all you put, like we'll stop what we're doing. That's our sign for like
and keep putting it if somebody misses it, but they should see it.
And like star it or because we're here to be support for people. So the other thing in the Facebook group is we have a separate chat for that as well. So if obviously it's different in a live where a bunch of people can see it. So if you're feeling like you need help, you could also email the channel. So
that was perfect about the hamster wheel. Just so that y'all do know about the hamster wheel, you could go on TikTok and they literally do nothing but have a live of
You know
all
what's
these
really
hamsters,
funny?
and they're running and doing that.
I saw this video of this girl who bought her cat an exercise wheel because he would try to get on the treadmill with her when she was running, but he wouldn't use it until she used it. So she had a video of her just like using the cat wheel.
I
It was
gotta
so
bring out
funny.
my
I was like,
video
"Oh my God,
here
isn't that
about
the truth?"
yeah, I really needed to be here. I really needed this.
And Keela, if at any point you're like, I just want to be in the back, I don't even want to be like on the front, but I need to check in, like we can figure out a way to run it that way too.
Yes, I'm.
Because
well,
sometimes
yeah,
you need a
thank you.
break. So
Red, thank you for
thank you,
Blake.
Red.
Thank you, Nico. Everybody
Truly
that's
amazing.
here, Misha, everybody that's in here. I appreciate Tamber. Y'all have all really done so much just tonight. I know we were on a long time, but I really needed this. I really did, because I've
Yeah.
been in such a shitty mood all day,
And
and
just
I was
remember,
hurting
um,
all day.
oh wait, that doesn't work. Anyway, what I was gonna say was we are a community.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that sometimes we go through struggle and we feel alone, but just know that you're not.
Ever.
Just ask Blake how much I bothered him until he talked to me. But yeah, like the hopeful message I would give you is like there's always someone out there who's been through what you're going through. And so you're not alone. Even if the people directly physically with you haven't, there's somebody out there who will understand or that will give you the space to just process what you're going through so you are not alone. And there's resources out there to help you. You know, that would be my hopeful message.
I think that's perfect. Connection is everything. You're not alone. And that to me tonight shows just how important it was. And I really so much appreciate it.
Once you're
I love you, Blake.
in my life, I don't leave unless you give me a reason to. It has to be a really messed up reason.
Yeah, let's see.
You know, even if
think
you're
we're
going through a hard
always
time and, you know, you snap at me, I won't take it personally because I know that when I go through a hard time, I can't always regulate that how I talk to people. I actually
and it's
become way more
better.
direct and less tactful. I'm just like, here's the direct message. I don't have time for the nice version. So,
But
yeah.
you know what it is? This space right here, we're not anything to do with any other thing except mental health. Yeah, I have my baggage. Blake has his baggage. We all have our baggage. But hey, Ted, I wish you would have been here earlier.
You are
I'm just in
fine. Well,
I'm so glad you came though.
we're gonna talk about like a thing that I intend to talk to you about later, Keela, is kind of making the check-in like the same time every week. And then if we feel like we need another one, we can kind of
Yes.
play that by ear, but kind of like picking the same time, same
Yes, I
day
think
so
so.
that people can come in and
And it gives me my
everyone's always
something.
welcome. And you know, we love everybody, like lurkers. If you're getting something from this, like no pressure to comment, but you know, always like the video. Make sure the bell notification is hit, and then sometimes you'll notice it'll pop up in YouTube that, hey, this person's going live in 30 minutes. Make sure you hit notify, because sometimes if you don't do that, it won't
Hey,
pop up in your
Nicole.
list.
Have a good
So-
night.
Oh, Nicole, you have a good night. I'm glad you were around.
Yeah, Ted, I'm sorry I'm looking like not so great in the world right now, because I don't feel so great in the world right now, but I feel better than I did when I started. So
Yes. And, like I said, we're around in the Facebook group. So if you need anything in a chat and you need something immediately, you could just, hit the @ symbol in our name.
We love you too, Ted, and you can
We
go back and
do.
catch up if you want to catch up on a 3-hour tour.
Oh man.
Because I think we went
Congratulations to your
everywhere.
kids.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so I think we'll call it because we're doing the Midwestern goodbye.
Yeah, we always do that.
We always do that.
But
What
I
is
really, really thank you and appreciate everybody.
what does Carrie Ann say? She's like, it's the third Minnesota goodbye. And she has
Yeah.
a special art sheet,
Hell yeah.
awards to people who are come in on the third Minnesota goodbye. So
Okay, I was gonna tell Red and I was gonna tell you, Haley, because y'all are both back here. Since we have a new outro and a new intro, y'all no longer have to go into the brand. All you have to do is hit live stream and in stream, and it automatically plays. So
nice.
no longer have to go into brand and then go hit in live. All that. Nope, automatically does it. Got that set up. So yes. Yes. So whenever Red is ready, I'm ready. I want to appreciate all the mods that have been in here for so long. This has been a 3-hour chat, but it's something I needed. Oh gosh, Ted's from Minnesota. That is so great. I'm sorry.
That's fun.
Katie says the song of the day. Emily said breathing underwater. That's exactly right. Yeah, and y'all, thank you for coming and just hanging with us. And I'm glad some got the free. That was the last of the memberships we could give away till the first of the next month. But it does let us do 10. So
yeah,
but
exactly.
love you all. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central, Awakened will be here with me. So
yes,
and we're gonna make the Sunday nights a permanent, for right now, permanent mental health check-in, correct?
yes.
Okay, so that's what we're gonna do.
8 p.m. Sundays, and
8
then
8 p.m.
we
on
can kind of
Sundays.
play by ear. Should we stop at 2 hours?
Yeah. Whoever wants to come. And if when people stop coming, we'll we'll go home. But I just want everybody to know that we will be here. And as I always say, you show up, I'm gonna be here, I promise.
Yep.
Now I might not be here physically. I might be nothing held against me when I'm medicated after surgery. Because I will be in here.
I'm expecting some pretty wild text, Keela. Just saying.
Oh, you don't even want to know.
Just group chat the mods on our phones.
I think you can't read them. I think they don't make sense.
And I came up with this for my channel if I ever start that. It's the acronym LARCS, and it stands like the bird, but it's love, acceptance, respect, care for, and support.
I like that.
Which are what we are doing here. So just remember, larks have wings and you'll be able to fly.
Oh, thank you, Indigo. I love that. I do love that. All right, here comes the door. We're getting goodbye. I will let y'all know. I will be on here Tuesday, Monday, but I'll be on Tuesday. I'll let you know how it goes on Wednesday. But I will see y'all hopefully tomorrow night. Bye, y'all.